Welcome one, welcome all to the Ring IQ Boxing Talks. Well, we'll discuss this weekend's action. The epic battle of super featherweights Alicia Bumgardner and Michaela Mayer. The epic middleweight clash between Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall. Oh, Dirty, what's good, man? It was a great weekend. The fights delivered. Yeah, I mean, y'all already know how I scored the fights, so because I already did that in a recap. Excellent fights, all of them. What I'm gonna do now in this live, I'm gonna break down the current updates to the Ring IQ pound for pound list. I don't normally do this live. I usually do a segment on it, but because there's so much going on, I thought I would get it out the way now so that you guys can better understand why certain fighters are in certain places, why the list moves the way that it does. Now, many of you already follow the list. What's goody, Victor? What's goody, Único? ¿Qué lo que, manín? Ya tú sabes. And, I'm going to break it down for y'all. All right, so I'm going to pull up the list right now, and it does reflect some of the contests that we've been seeing. Untimely meditations. You know what time it is, son. Hot Boxing Minute. Shout out to my man, Hot Boxing Minute. We was chopping it up in the spaces yesterday. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. You ain't had to do that, but you did it, and I appreciate it. The way the list breaks down, let me pull it up so you guys can better understand why the list is structured the way that it is. Now, ahead of this weekend's fights, I told you guys that if Clarissa wins, while it's a great win, and it is in addition to her professional accolades, she will remain at number 2 because she hasn't beaten as many world champions as Katie Taylor. The talent pool at 160, 168, and 154, it is noticeably thinner than what you find at 135. Katie Taylor had to fight a champion for every belt she ever won. None of those belts were vacant. She, except for maybe the WBA, but it wasn't really vacant. What that was that Anaís Sanchez blew the weight the day before the fight. You know, that's what that was, if it's registered as vacant. But she was the champion when they signed the contract to do the fight. And every single belt that she won at 135, she had to take it from somebody. Whereas, many of the belts that Clarissa had won at 154 and 160, those were vacant. Those were a lot of them. Three of the four belts she won at 160 were vacant. And 3 of the 4 belts that she won at 154 were also vacant. One of the belts that she won at 168 was vacant. The other she won from reigning champion Nikki Adler. I believe Katie has her beat out in terms of championship scalps. She has her beat out 5 champions to 4. Katie beat, who was it? Anaís Sanchez for the WBA, Victoria Bustos for the IBF, unbeaten Rose Volante for the WBO, Delphine Persoon for the WBC, and Cristina Linardatu for the WBO at 140. That was where she became a 4-division champion. To add to that, Cristina Linardatu is the same woman that gave Alicia Baumgardner her first professional loss. Katie's resume is deeper than people realize because they haven't been watching the sport all that long. They don't know all the fighters that have been around. They don't know what's in their resumes, these fighters that she fought. So when they see that she might be ahead of Clarissa, they might be like, well, how do you justify that? Well, I know what's in those fighters' resumes. I know who they fought. The belt she won from Homegirl at 140, the Dominican Greek girl, that's the girl that gave Alicia her first loss. That's the girl. You see what I mean? You think about fighters like Jessica McCaskill that Katie beat years ago, right? Look at what she went on to do. She went on to become a 2-division champion, a unified champion at 140, an undisputed champion at 147. No, she had every reason to lose that fight to Cecilia Brækhus, but she didn't. And this is someone that Katie beat years ago. In recent memory, Katie shared the ring with Natasha Jonas. Look at how all of that turned out. Natasha Jonas is now a unified junior middleweight champion. All the problems that Natasha gave all the problems that Natasha gave Chris Namis, a former champion, all the problems she gave Patricia Bergult, a young, unbeaten champion, never lost a fight.
She couldn't give Katie those problems. It was competitive between them, but when Tasha went in there with somebody else, you sort of like, yeah, she's levels above that girl. She's levels above. Katie's resume is deep. You know what I mean? It's a deep resume. Most people don't realize that or appreciate it because, like I said, they haven't been watching all that long. They don't know who she fought, and they don't know who those people fought. So while Claressa Shields' victory this past weekend is great, you don't have enough scalps to surpass her. You don't have as many. I will say that the scalp of unbeaten Nikki Adler, that was a very good scalp. The scalp of unbeaten Tori Nelson, very good scalp. The scalp of Franchon Cruz in their pro debuts, that was a very good scalp. The scalp of unbeaten Christina Hammer, very good scalp. The scalp of unbeaten Marie-Eve Dicaire, very good scalp. They have the two best resumes in the sport right now. You know, they both do. That's why they're number one and number two. You know what I mean? So that's basically that. That explains that. That explains why, even though Claressa Shields is a 3-time undisputed champion, that doesn't necessarily mean you have the same resume as Katie. No, it doesn't. It's harder to become undisputed at 135 pounds. You couldn't win 2-3 belts at 135 at that time if you wanted to. You had to go through one champion for every single belt that's out there. You had to beat a champion to get it. That's how it was at 135. Whereas at those weights up there, a lot of those belts were vacant. You know, nobody was holding them. Obviously, that's not Claressa's fault. I don't hold that against her. You know, that's not her fault. The state of the division, that is not her fault. But at the same time, that doesn't mean you have the same depth in your resume that Katie does. Your resume is better than almost everyone. Well, your resume is better than everyone else out there, save Katie Taylor. Now, if you look down to the lower tier, the second tier, right? You look down at the second tier, why is Amanda Serrano ahead of Jessica McCaskill? Amanda Serrano has beat 3 world champions for their titles, 3 or 4. She's beat Maria Maderna for what I believe was the WBO, Heather Hardy for the WBO, more recently Sarah Mahfoud for the IBF, all right? Jessica McCaskill beat Anaí Sanchez for the WBA. She beat Erica Farias for the WBC, and she beat Cecilia Brækhus for all the belts at 147. So they're tied in terms of the number of champions they beat, but what separates them? Amanda's a 7-division champion. That's the tiebreaker for them. That y'all might have beat the same number of champions, but Amanda has been at this longer, and she has been a champion at more weights, and now with the win over Sarah Mahfoud, she's beaten the same number of champions as you, but that's not all she's done. When you think about why Senicia is ahead of Alicia, it's because Senicia, like Alicia, she beat 2 world champions, but she beat them in 2 different divisions, whereas both the champions Alicia beat, they were at the same weight. Senicia is a 2-division champion. She's a champion at minimum weight, and she was a champion upstairs at light flyweight. So that's what kind of pushes her along, that yeah, both beat 2 champions apiece, but she's been a champion at 2 weights. She is a 2-division champion. Obviously, what separates Alicia from Terry is that Alicia beat Terry. So, yeah, I mean, so if Alicia's at number 6 and Terry's at number 7, that's why. Alicia beat Terry, and Terry is a very good fighter, an excellent fighter. Now, you might be wondering, well, why is Terry Harper there? Well, Terry Harper is a 2-division champion. She beat Eva Wahlstrom for the WBC title. Eva Wahlstrom was unbeaten at super featherweight. She did lose to Katie, but she was unbeaten at super featherweight. She took the WBC from Eva. More recently, she took the WBA from Hannah Rankin, all the way up there at 154. If that don't say pound for pound, I don't know what the fuck will, because that's the point. That a smaller fighter that's naturally smaller can move up in weight and beat a bigger fighter because they're more skilled than they are. And that's what young Terry Harpier, the belter, that's what she proved. Marlene Esparza, she beat 2 champions apiece like Terry, but she's not a 2-division champion like Terry. Now, Franchon Cruz, she's there because she's her division's undisputed champion. That's why she's there. She beat Helene Cedar-Ruz, got all the belts. And at number 10, one of my personal favorites, Chantel Cameron, who's going to be fighting Jessica McCaskill, who ranks in at number 3. At number 4. She's ranked at number 4. Y'all see Jessica. She's going to be fighting Jessica very soon. The winner of the fight moves ahead. The loser of the fight, per the rules that govern the list, gets ejected. In defeating a pound-for-pound fighter, you become one yourself, or you move up the list. And if you lose, until such a time as you rebound, until such a time as you get yourself back in the winner's bracket, you're off the list. The list is only for winners and only for champions. Right, so that's how that breaks down. The winner of the fight, they stay on the list. The loser of the fight, they're off the list until they get a W, until they get back in the winner's bracket. That's how that works. What Shields needs to do to be number 1 is just beat a few more champions. That's it. It's not, she doesn't have to do anything crazy or anything that can't be done. It's entirely possible that she can beat a couple more champions, 1 or 2, and that'll do it. But the reason that it breaks down this way is because while beating Savannah Marshall is a good win, was Savannah Marshall as highly ranked as, say, Delphine Persoon? No, she wasn't. Delphine was pound for pound. I didn't have Savannah on the pound for pound yet. She would have needed to beat Clarissa to break the list, whereas Delphine, she was already there. Delphine was a long-reigning WBC champion that nobody wanted to fight. Nobody wanted to deal with that woman, all right? And then you think about Amanda Serrano. Is beating Savannah Marshall, is Savannah Marshall as accomplished as Amanda Serrano? No. So you're not as long-reigning a champion as Delphine Persoon. You're not as accomplished a fighter as Amanda Serrano. So, yeah, it's a great win. I'm not even downplaying it. I'm just saying that I have to compare who was a more accomplished fighter that these two fighters beat. Was Savannah more accomplished than Delphine? No. Was she more accomplished than Amanda Serrano? No. Was she more highly rated than they were? No. She's a great fighter. I still think she's a great fighter. I want her to keep fighting, but that's just me being objective. Not my list, Dave. My list is based on facts. My list is just based on the facts. And the fact is, Savannah was a great fighter, but she was not as long-reigning a champion as Delphine Persoon, and she was not as accomplished as Amanda Serrano. Simple. That's all it is. I got to be objective. Somebody has to be, because too many people treat the list like it's a popularity contest. And it's not. It's not a popularity contest. You're supposed to look at what these fighters have done, or at least I do. I look at what they've done, and that is a testament to their skills. It's not easy to win a belt all the time. No, it's not. In some divisions, it's not. Who did you have to beat to get a belt or belts? What divisions have you climbed? What titles have you unified? How many times have you defended them? The people that you fought, what did they do? What makes them good victories and good wins? These are all the different things that I have to look at to structure the list. But because the list has a set criteria, it's easy. It's easy to see, okay, well, this person belongs here because, well, you beat 5 champions and you beat 4. You did this and you did that, and you did this and you did that. It's fairly simple. And that takes care of that, So what I got to look out for next is, because number 10 is about to fight number 4 in November, number 10 is about to fight number 4. That's Chantel at the bottom corner in the right hand, on the right corner in the bottom, and you see Jessica, she's at number 4. Because they're about to fight, the winner of the fight stays on the list and potentially advances. The loser of the fight is off until such a time as they get back in the winner's bracket. That's how that works. So, yeah, man, those are the updates to that list. Fairly simple. And, I see a lot of people, they saying Michaela Mayer got robbed. I just think that's a lot of sour grapes, being real with y'all. I think that's a lot of sour grapes. There's no reason for Boxer to rob Michaela Mayer to gift a matchroom fighter. Why would they do that? On what planet does that make sense? In what sport? Because it makes no sense in this one. At the end of the day, Alicia won fair and square, 6 rounds to 4. That's how I had it. And I was actually surprised that they gave her a fair shake. I was surprised that they scored it the way that I had it, because I had Alicia winning the fight. I had her sweeping the first 3 rounds. I had Michaela sweeping rounds 4, 5, and 6, with Alicia picking up 7 and 8. Michaela picked up 9. Alicia picked up 10, 6-4. That's how I had it. The problem I saw for Michaela, and this was from the very beginning and throughout the fight, is that Michaela's money punch is the jab. That's her money punch. That's literally her best punch. And because Alicia will hop back and create a little bit of space and either feint the right or shoot the right, that was causing a lot of problems for Michaela, because Michaela normally should touch it with the jab, and then bring over the right. Well, sometimes it worked, but a lot of times it didn't. It's because Alicia will hop back, create a little bit of space, shoot the counter right, looping right, and Michaela didn't like that. She had to be mindful of that. You don't want to keep getting decked with that right hand. That's what took out Terry Harper when she did it. Terry jabbed Alicia to the body 2 times, and the second time she did it, right hand over the top, took her out. Kat says that Helenius got robbed. Yeah, I mean, and he did get robbed, because I had him winning the fight. I had it 8-4 Helenius at the time of the knockout. All right? Motherfuckers? Real shit, yo. Motherfuckers get mad, yo. Motherfuckers get mad over some pound for pound list, but like I say, if my list and its criteria, you know, if there are people out there that don't agree with it, they are at liberty to make their own list and make their own criteria. But my criteria hasn't changed. You know, it's been the same for years and years and years. You know, there's Alicia right there at number 6. Very nice addition to the list. Right now, the list is dominated by Americans and Brits. That could change. That could very well change. Because there are a lot of good fighters coming through. And that's what people don't realize. Just because the list looks this way today doesn't mean it's going to look that way a couple of months from now. A lot of things could change. It all depends on the outcomes of the fights, which is what's most important. Sky Pundits had Mayer winning the fight by 3 rounds. Yes, and Sky Pundits, let me say this, bro. Sky Pundits are in bed with Top Rank. And what's Michaela Mayer? Remember, the UK broadcast partner for Top Rank is Sky. The UK broadcast partner for Top Rank. And what's Michaela Mayer? A Top Rank fighter. I mean, that they're towing the company line. Yeah, that's how it sounded to me, because, and the funny thing is, when I watched the fight the Sunday after with the commentary on, because I don't watch it with the commentary on while I'm live, but I watched it again on Sunday morning with the Tim Bradley, ESPN, Andre Ward commentary, and it was a lot more balanced. They weren't, you know, there were a lot of things that Alicia was doing. They didn't mention that shit, but when I watched the ESPN one instead of the Sky commentary, it was like, yeah, see, this makes more sense. Oh, word, right? Alexis was mad. Well, I told his ass stop trying to argue with me about fucking fighters he don't watch. He think because he on some Top Rank shit, he know what he talking about. Like, fam, you don't watch these fighters? Chill out, bro. You don't watch them. You just trying to toe the line for some reason. I don't even know why. Talked all that shit just to be wrong again. You 2-1 with me, Alexis. You said Amanda was gonna win. She did. You said Michaela was gonna win. She did. You know what I mean? You can't fuck with me, bro. You can't fuck with me. Can't fuck with me, bro. All right? Stop fucking with me, bro. You know what I'm saying? You out of your depth here, bro. You understand that shit? Got the skelly boom boom so I can look like a prowler. Right? Motherfuckers can't fuck with me, bro. Right? Got the skelly boom boom looking like a prowler. I'ma talk shit about Alexis for an hour. Talking about fighters that he don't watch and decisions he think judges botched. That shit was dope. I should be a rapper. Chill. I'm about to cut a beat on. It's real shit out here, yo. Is Bumgardner versus Hyunmi Choi realistic? I believe it's realistic because very soon Hyunmi Choi could find herself in a situation that she doesn't want to be in. There are 2 girls climbing up the WBA's ranks that may end up on her ass. One is Grafe, all right? She's number 1. The other is Delphine Pursoon. She's number 2. If Hyunmi Choi fights them, not only will she lose, she'll lose for less money than she'd make losing to Alicia. So you kind of fucked. You know, like you might lose to them, but at least with Alicia, it's for undisputed. It's going to be more money. So you might as well just go in there, let her beat the shit out of you, and let's just get this fucking thing over with, yo. Shout out to Alicia who won me some money. I forgot that I made a bet. I literally forgot. Shout out to D-Styles for being a man of his word. Man of his word. Respect that man. That's a man of his word. I need them Jose Uzcategui pets. Yeah, I need that EPO too, bro. I need that EPO. I know Kat waiting to talk shit. I know what she here for. She waiting to talk shit. Listen, Kat. Listen, Kat. You motherfucker. All right? I ain't say Clarissa ain't win the fight. I said the rounds were hard for me to score because the things I characteristically look for, who's holding the center of the ring, who's got their back against the ropes, those are things I normally look for. They was both throwing a lot of punches, but I will admit, Clarissa's punches were more eye-catching because they were faster. There was a real inspirational moment in the fight. Clarissa had her back on the ropes, and she fought her way off them shits. It was like some movie shit. I was going crazy watching that shit. Y'all seen? I was going crazy watching that shit. All right? You know what I'm saying? Cat here to talk shit. Ain't going to talk shit about me, you motherfucker. All right? I ain't mad Clarissa won the fight. I'm happy the fight happened. I'm just happy it happened. And what I want more than anything is for Savannah and Clarissa to build on what they built. Get out there. Get them more fights. People need to give them more money. One problem that I see, though, is that, look, Clarissa said she's willing to fight Savannah again, right? But she won it in America. And unfortunately, I don't know what the fight does in America. Will you be able to get that many people, like the 18,500 or whatever it was? Will it do 2 million views in America? Because it did 2 million views in the UK. Will it do 2 million views in America? And on what network? And who's going to pay for it? Because these are all the things that, need to get ironed out if you want to bring it through America. If you want to do that right now, and I've been saying the money is in the UK. That's a part of the reason it did well. People showed up and people had fun and they enjoyed it, and people at home watched it because it's different in the UK. It is different. Here, you have to wonder, well, okay, who's going to pay for the fight? Because neither one of y'all is top-ranked fighters. Clarissa's not a top-ranked fighter. Neither is Savannah Marshall. She's with Boxer, not top-ranked. So who's going to pay for the fight? I hope not, man. I hope she doesn't retire, man. I really hope she doesn't, because I hope she doesn't retire. This link is for Kat in case Kat want to join. The link is for Kat. You understand? I don't need 10 guys in the back. The link is for Kat if Kat want to join and talk about that, because I know Kat been waiting to talk shit since Saturday. I know. I'll take my lumps. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I hope she doesn't retire, man. I really hope she doesn't retire, man. Because right now, it's so many fights for Savannah. And they're not just great fights. They're winnable fights. You lost to Clarissa Shields. And you ain't lose how them other girls lost. That was a fight. That was competitive. Like, I don't understand how people talking all this, it was a school. I don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. Clarissa back don't be on the ropes in fights, first of all. So I don't know what the fuck a lot of y'all talking about. You know what I mean? It was a great fight. I agree that Clarissa won. I do agree to that. But people saying it was easy, I don't know about all that bullshit. Like, what you mean easy? When does Clarissa Shields have her back against the ropes? That shit don't be happening. I did see that Connor's father, he was talking about that shit. And I was going to segue to that too, that look, they just announced the fight with Jose Uzcategui and David Benavidez, right? Right. And Jose Uzcategui popped for EPO over a year ago, and it was for this same fight. It was literally for a David Benavidez fight. And what make that shit stupid is that how you trying to chastise, how you trying to See, I already see two guys in the back, and I said it's for Cat. It's for Cat. It's for Cat. What the fuck was I saying? Right. How do you chastise Eddie Hearn for the kind of Ben shit when all you did with a guy that tested hot was reschedule the fight? And that's the second time you did that. You did that with Luis Ortiz. Yeah, you called it off at first, but so did Eddie Hearn. So what the fuck are you guys talking about? Stephen Espinoza cannot sit on a high horse when it come to guys that get popped, because when this there go, I told y'all the link is for Cat. When Luis Ortiz got popped, what did Stephen do? You rescheduled the fight. So how you getting mad at Eddie Hearn for trying to reschedule a fight? Make it make sense. How you getting mad? It don't add up. Y'all a bunch of fucking hypocrites. You complicit with that shit. And what it really is, you bitter and you salty because your numbers are down. You might get phased out by Paramount. That's why you mad. U.S. promoters won't pay Shields what Boxer did. Well, that's the problem. That is the problem, Drew. That's a very real problem. The link is for Cat. Because I know she been waiting to talk shit. I know. You know what I mean? But that is the problem, that you could say that you want it in America or you want. You could say that. But the money to pay you, who's going to put it up? And that's not me saying ain't nobody going to put it up. That's saying that somebody got to put the money up, because I'm pretty sure you want to get paid. Kat, what you think about what Clarissa said? She want the rematch in America. She want to bring it over here.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was mad. I'm in my bed. I was about to go to sleep. I'm not gonna talk shit. I was just, I had to rub it in a little bit. You know what I mean? I was on here last time and I told you what was gonna happen, and you looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, yo, I was trying to lead you to the world of the seven. I was trying to, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. What I will say about Clarissa saying that she wants to fight in America, unfortunately, Mama, that's not gonna work. She doesn't have a fan base strong enough for that. If she wants to do something like she's done before, at her hometown, but it's not nothing major, how this fight was. Because, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, and nobody brought that up, right? So Boxer went on and said that they sold out for the event, but you can actually go on, because I guess the top tier platform thing was not sold out. It was empty. It was still open, so you can still get tickets. And like right after that, the fight was rescheduled for October. What's his name? Ben Shalom.
Ben Shalom.
He came
Ben
out.
Shalom.
And he was like, hey, I've lost so much money on this event. He was like, yeah, that it's shared between, Salita's promotion and Top Rank or whatever. But the hump of it was like, it's on him. You know what I mean? So I was just curious as to how did it go from, hey, it's a dud, we've lost so much money, to them saying, oh, it's so successful and yada, yada, yada. Which, if it is, congratulations, because it was a great event. But I didn't really understand how it went from a dud to it's one of the best things we've done. But like I said, if she wants to do the fight in America, I don't know who and I don't know where.
I'm in full agreement, because neither one of them are top ranked fighters, and that needs to be understood with anybody that might get on a high horse and say, well, oh, Clarissa won the fight and she should get to call the shots. It's not cut and dry like that. The money has to come from somewhere. Somebody has to pay her the way she wants to get paid, and somebody has to pay Savannah. If you want it in America, yeah, somebody has to pay. Now, if you want to run it back in the UK, that's more ideal, because now Boxer and Sky, or for those metrics, they would be willing to pay, because they see, no, we got really good viewership off of this. We got good viewership, 2 million people. That was very good. So you can run it back over there, but in America, who's going to pay for it? I'm not saying nobody will pay for it, but who? Who do you have in mind to pay you and pay her, since none of y'all is signed to nobody over here? Y'all not signed to nobody over here. Dimitri Salita can't do it over here. Nah, can't afford that.
I think her best bet, and she did say, like, when right after, you know, she said that she liked fighting over there because of the love and the people that came out, you know, and the support and the fact that boxing is a different atmosphere over there. So she did say that. So for her to then turn around and be like, well, I want it in the US, and I understand why she does, but unfortunately, I don't know who and I don't know where.
I'm in full agreement. If there is a second fight, not saying that there needs to be one, because for me, the most important thing about these fights is making sure that they happen so that sponsors and people that give endorsements can see there's money in these women. There is interest in these women. You can sell tickets. It does create excitement. That's what they need to see. So it's not necessarily about who wins. It's about, look at all these 18,000 people that came to show up. Look at them 2 million viewers that watch this shit. There's money in this shit. And as they pour more money into the shit, the girls will fight harder to get the money. The talent pool will become deeper. These are all the things that need to happen. Like, look at Amanda. Amanda's in a great position. You know, she's in a great position. She was in a Fight of the Year candidate, right? And now, you know, that, like, yeah, she was in a fight earlier this year. Sold a lot of fucking tickets, man. 19,500 people at Madison Square Garden, all right?
Well,
so
one thing I will say, right? Those 2 million people that tuned in, is that UK mixed with the US, or how, like, what's the viewership on that?
I would say that the 2 million, based on what they put out, my understanding is that 2 million was just Sky viewers. We don't know what it, and I think it did bring in views on ESPN. If I had to guess, I do think it brought in something on ESPN. But the fact that they brought in just out of Brits, just people over there, 2 million, that's great, bro. That's amazing.
It is.
That's wonderful. That's dope that it did that. That's a beautiful thing. And you want to build on that, you know what I mean? So I don't even know that bringing the fight to America. It's like, why would you want to do that? It's different over here. You got to understand that. Over here, motherfuckers is on some bullshit. Like, that's just the truth. We still don't know what the Wilder versus Helenius numbers are. What you think them numbers is going to be?
Okay, not so great. I think reflection of the current status, like the Ruiz numbers, because, you know, okay, and that's another thing. I got dragged, but I'm just gonna reiterate what I was trying to say. I'm not saying don't buy Wilder cards. What I said was that this particular card didn't interest me, so I didn't purchase it. And I said, if I was somebody that did buy it or went to the event, I would have been upset because it was one round, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a competitive fight that I would be like, hey, I'm gonna give you my money. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I agree. I agree that the selling point had to be adoration of Wilder, you know? That's who that was for. It wasn't for me, it wasn't for Kat, it wasn't for Drew. That's if you really a big Wilder fan and you happy that he's coming back, that shit is for you, because it ain't for everybody. Anybody know Robert Helenius got knocked out by Gerald Washington, bro. This dude is chinny. So you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting.
Look, I'm just saying. I thought, and you know, like the whole, oh, you know, he's back in his knockout ratio, I guess you could say, is back. But again, it was one round, and I didn't see anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not me shitting on him. I'm trying as a viewer to see, you know, like, I saw what he went through with Fury. I want to know, as a fighter, how has he improved? What did he learn? And then, like, in the post fight, the interview, he said, you know, that he worked on so much, but I'm like, bro, sadly, I didn't see that. So like,
no, I agree. All he did, he moved lateral. I ain't gonna lie, he looked a little bit coordinated moving lateral because he was, you know, using the ring, back on the ropes, using the ring, saddling, and he set him up for the right. It wasn't pretty though, you know. The right hit, it wasn't pretty. Like it wasn't like the one that he hit Ortiz with in the rematch. It wasn't like that. It was like the dude walked into the damn punch. So yeah, he gonna fall because he walked into it. But it wasn't pretty, you know. It wasn't.
I saw it slightly different, right? Because when Helenius was backing him up in the corner, I personally felt that Helenius, yes, he did walk forward because he was trying to bum rush him, right? When Wilder hit him, it wasn't on an extended hand, right? Like his hand was still bent. So that's why it sort of bounced off his face. But to me, I don't even think it was like him intending to punch him. I think he was just trying to like push him so he could maneuver out of the corner, right? But that's my take on it. And again, it's so short. It's less than 5 seconds. That's just how I took it. But I can't take anything else of it because, like I said, it's one round. You know what I mean? But I do, and I did appreciate that he's back. The only thing is that the hype of like, oh, you know, if such and such, you know, were to get that punch, they, you know, they won't last. And it's just like, bro, stop.
And the shit is corny because it's like we talking about a dude that got stopped years ago in his prime by Duopa, a dude that in recent years got stopped by a non-puncher in Gerald Washington. This is literally Wilder's sparring partner, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, but I'm just saying that you can't tell me that he's all the way back because he knocked out Robert Helenius in a fight where Robert didn't even land a punch. You can't compare. Like, I don't know if he back because he didn't even get hit.
That's what I'm saying.
So you know that shit. Let me read the super chat. Shields is a 7-figure fighter in the UK and 6 in the USA. Shields fans waited for free tickets to Wilder's fight. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, I don't know about that. But yeah, like and now you know the natural fight to make is the Ruiz fight, you know? I mean, I don't believe none of that Usyk shit, you know, that, oh, yeah, well, we gonna hold Usyk. Man, get the fuck out of here, bro.
No, my ticket boy, Jules, my dude that gets tickets said, if it was such a movie and people were so excited for Wilder, why'd they show up waiting for free tickets to be handed out?
Because they knew, bro. They know
Exactly.
the drill. They know the drill. Like, they knew that, like, if we wait late enough, we might be able to get some freebies if we wait, because it's a routine. Like, it is a drill that motherfuckers do that. They're like, nah, I'm gonna wait till the day before the fight, see if I can't get some freebies. Motherfuckers do that shit all the time, man. They even did that shit at the Pacquiao Ugas. There were people that had nosebleed seats, right? I was sent a video of people whose seats were upgraded from the nosebleeds down. To the better seats.
Mm-hmm.
They do that shit, so it is what it is.
Because they curtain off the back if they can, if it's that empty. So they push everybody to the front.
Exactly. They want it, you know, for the cameras, when the cameras pan over to the audience, they want to at least give off the appearance that they packed it out. You know what I mean? That's really why they do that, because it would look crazy if everybody's all spread out. It's going to look like nobody came. That's why they do that fucking shit. But ultimately, I don't expect Shields versus Marshall 2 to happen in America if there even is a rematch. When it comes to Wilder's fight, you can't reflect but so much on something like that. Like, bro, Robert didn't even land a punch. I'm not knocking Wilder, you know, but I'm just saying that the dude didn't land a punch. So I really don't know where you at. And I said the same thing about Cepada in the Josue Vargas fight, that I'm like, look, I don't know if Cepada is shot or not, because he knocked out Josue Vargas in one round. What I do know is when he was in there with Hank Lundy, he didn't look right. He looked like he was shot. Well, you know, it is what it is. Now that the fight is behind us, what y'all think about Michaela Mayer saying that Alicia lost and she knows it?
Let me tell you something, all right? I done been told y'all, and I got trashed, that I feel like Michaela Mayer has, I'm not saying she's a basic fighter, but she has a very telling style, right? She uses her jab. She's a lengthy fighter. There's nothing there's nothing about her that said to me, you know, that she could adjust to a fighter like AB. And even like trying to listen to what her trainer was telling her, And even watching her, I got frustrated for her because I could see that she was frustrated in the beginning. And then like later on, I felt like AB was trying to rely on that hook and trying to find it. And she was like letting her back in the fight. And I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
But like even then, look, I think Mayor, you know, she can, I don't know if she can go up, but like there's options for her, right? She
She
can
can
go up,
go up. She can go up. She can. And
but,
she'll be okay. She'll be okay because I don't know another super featherweight that could beat her besides Alicia.
but she just doesn't have the style for AB, and I had been said that.
I'll say that with Mayor, and I said this many times. Drew heard me say it. Alicia remind me of Achilles, and Michaela reminds me of Hector. You have a very good textbook style, and you're good because you're experienced, but you lack that extra, that improvisation, that nuance. The little things that Alicia did, the half step back and then bringing over the right hand to counter the jab, it's little things like that that win you the fight. You know what I mean? When Michaela saw that, all right, if I shoot the jab, the straight jab, and she waiting to counter it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna shorten up the jab and I'm gonna double up on the jab. I'm gonna shorten it up. I'm gonna make it so short she can't counter it, and I'm gonna triple it and double it so I could get close to her and then I could nail her. Little things like that would have got her in the fight to where it's a fight, but she kept shooting the jab the same way with the same intensity.
Yeah, because that's all she does. That's all she does.
Exactly.
Michaela fought the fight like she knew she was the house fighter, thinking she was going to get the benefit on the cards.
What do you think about what Kelvin's saying? Do you think Delphine Pursoon would knock out Michaela Mayer?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so, IQ. I think she's durable because Bumgardner really hit her with some shit and she took it.
That's true. That is true.
And I think Michaela had enough.
Alicia, she can hit, bro.
Michaela had enough on her punches to not prevent Alicia from rushing in.
Yeah,
but she has respectable power.
She's a pressure fighter. Like she's no. She goes in. I think AB was a lot more calculated. She didn't really have that much volume. Pursoon can't put the pressure on.
That's true.
So,
I'll say the difference. I would say the difference. See, I could see Alicia beating Delphine because I saw Helen Joseph damn near beat Delphine, and they have similarities that they move their torso a lot. They have a wide stance. They change levels. They bring the overhand, whereas Michaela's more upright and more textbook. And you got to switch it up with Delphine. You can't rely on one plan. You got to be able to adapt because just because you punch her in the face with a jab don't mean she's going to stop coming forward. She's not going to stop coming forward. She's going to keep coming after you. And that's how she get people. She gets you tired and she start lumping you the fuck up. So I don't know, man. I think that would be a hard fight for Michaela. It's different. Yeah. It's different than the Maiva Hamadouche fight because Maiva's a hooker. She hooks. She need to get close to you and then she let the hooks go. Delphine's best punches are straight punches. Straight punches from the outside coming in. And it's actually more on those punches than them shits that Maiva throws. Maiva throws shots. Some of them shits is arm punches. Delphine shit got motherfucking the whole Belgium on it. So it's a different fight. It is a different fight. It's a different fight. I'll say that. I don't know if they're ever going to fight, though, because it's not much reason for Michaela to stay at 130. You ain't going to get Choi. You ain't getting no rematch with Alicia. So you need to move up. The saving grace for Michaela is I saw yesterday, either yesterday or the day before, Jessica Kamara is about to fight for the vacant WBA at 147, right? Jessica Kamara is the girl that fought Kaylee Reese last year. She about to fight for that. Michaela could beat her. She could beat her. Go to 47. If Terry could make it at 54 and Natasha can make it at 54, you taller than them. You can make it at 47. You be all right up there. Get up there. Get meaty. Get put some weight on and get up there because it's over for you at 30 and you're not gonna get Katie. Like you're not gonna get Katie, fam. Like unless you're trying to go to Matchroom, you're not getting Katie. So it is what it is.
Okay, hold on. All right, so this is a two-part question, right? So even though AB said no, I'm not gonna give her the rematch. This could have been a whole main event in the U.S.
I agree.
if the money is right.
I agree. I agree.
I feel that fight would have got a lot of views on ESPN.
I agree. I agree.
Over a million. Over a million.
See, this is the weird thing. That fight would get over 1 million views. That fight, the fight with Michaela and Alicia in America, yes, that fight will get over 1 million views. That
build-up was very entertaining. That was
Very.
They really talked some shit.
So,
go ahead, Kat.
So because I heard Tim Bradley say that he felt that fight was very underwhelming compared to the build-up. Do y'all agree with that?
No,
Yes.
because I wasn't underwhelmed because I knew who they were leading up to. It's like Maypac all over again, that when people were waiting for Maypac, they felt that it was going to look like Pacquiao like Mayweather versus Cotto. That must be what they thought. And I knew, now this is going to be boring. If I'm picking Floyd to win, this is going to be a boxing match. This is not going to be no shootout. And with Michaela and Alicia, I knew, like, yo, they not like that. They don't do dumb shit. They don't just go out there throwing bullshit. It's going to be about who's the better boxer. With Clarissa and Savannah, that's different because I know Savannah going to apply pressure. And my question was, can Clarissa handle it? I'm like, yeah, she handled it, man. She fucking did it.
Yeah,
yo.
I think Bradley thought they was gonna give us Provodnikov him.
Yeah. And if you know them, and
the way they was talking shit, that's what it sounded like. But that's just talking shit.
Yeah, that's just talking shit. Like, if you know them and you've seen them, Alicia don't throw no dumb bullshit ass punches. You know that, like, she don't throw bullshit out there, like arm punches and all that crazy shit. And Michaela don't fight that way either. They're both boxers. They're gonna box. Whereas with Savannah's looking for a knockout. So this is gonna be a fist fight, and that's what that motherfucker was. It was a fist fight. That's what it was. But I loved it.
So what's her future looking like with Top Rank, Mr. Media? Because remember, she's the face of Top Rank. Right?
Right,
Pero now,
déjame decirte algo. Déjame decirte un chisme. Y yo se lo dije a Drew hace mucho tiempo, y yo lo dije en el relay. There's a reason they got Sinicia. And Michaela needs, I said, Michaela needs to win it. Just from, it's not that I wanted her to win. It's that's the situation that you're in, that this is make or break for you, because they have Sinicia now, and Sinicia is more marketable than you and more fun to watch than you, because she produces knockdowns and knockouts, and she's bilingual. She has her hands on the pulse of the most important fan base in America, the Chicano fans, those East LA fans. That's the boxing scene. So if you lose this thing, tú te jodiste. Tú te jodiste. Your pay is gonna, if they keep you on, and they might keep her on, they might. But I wouldn't be surprised if they cut her. They cut Elvis Rodriguez after one loss. They cut Carlos Adames after one loss. Okay, esa es la situación. Y posiblemente, I don't want them to cut her. I want them to keep her. Pero if they keep her, ella necesita un título. And she needs to be able to bring them fights. The only way that happens, where all of those things get satisfied, you go to 147, you beat Jessica Kamara next year, because I believe she is going to become WBA champion. You beat her, then fighting Terry Harper, that becomes a conversation again. Then fighting Natasha Jonas, that becomes a conversation. Why? Mary Spencer. Ella no se van a quedarse en el 54. Mary's on their ass, and she'll beat them both. I'm sorry to say, but she'll beat them both. She'll knock them both out. And they can't stay up there. She's this close to becoming the mandatory for the both of them. Whichever one she picks, they're fucked. You need to leave, because you can't win that fight. You can't.
I'll be having dinner with Sinicia's manager on Wednesday, and just continuing the conversation, like the stuff they already have planned for her. Top Rank, is it safe to say, Drew, Top Rank is coming along for the ride, because she was already, they're helping her, but it was all this stuff we talked about, Drew, was already in play.
Yeah. I mean, like, Sinicia has all the ingredients to not just be a great boxer, but to cross over, like how Oscar crossed over. She has all of that. All those little things that you need to amplify, all you need to do is take Sinicia and put her on that platform, and the rest will take care of itself. It'll take care of itself. That's how good she is in all those different departments. Whereas with Michaela, God bless her. I think she's a good boxer. Like, I don't think she's a bad fighter at all. I like her fights. I like Alicia's fights more. I like Alicia more. But besides the point, it's that you don't produce that many knockdowns. You don't produce that many knockouts. After 4 or 5 years of promotion, you still haven't become a big ticket seller. She's been with Top Rank since 2017, for those that don't know. She's been with them a long time, and you're still not a big ticket seller. Fucking Cardi B retweeted Alicia's fucking ring walk, bro. That's major. It's these little things. It's not enough to be a good fighter sometimes, unfortunately, but it's not enough. You got Cardi.
They were showing her candle commercials on the freaking fight like every few breaks. You saw that shit?
Esa es la vaina, que ella tiene toda la cosa. Ella tiene tanta cosa que tú puedes utilizar para vender productos, para vender música, ropa, chancleta, gym equipment. Y yo no estoy diciendo que Michaela es fea. No, ella es linda. Ella, tú sabes, a mí no me gusta la güera, de verdad, pero ella es linda. Ella tiene su cosita linda, pero ella no tiene ese carisma. Es algo que tiene esta muchacha que she just has charisma, you know. Alicia has charisma. Y Michaela, ella es linda and she's funny too. She's fucking funny. Pero para vender cosas y productos, yeah, you could get her to sell probably like, hi, I'm Michaela Mayer and I use Revlon. But it hasn't happened in 5 years that you've been there. It hasn't happened yet. What is it going to take?
Yeah, AB went viral on TikTok too. I don't know how. Like, you guys are probably a little too old for that app, but
her dancing, her ring walk dancing.
Bueno, es que la niña es linda. Eso no, like, nobody can deny que la niña es linda. Like, aside from us boxing nerds and boxing snobs, para la gente que ni ven el deporte, esa muchacha es linda. She'll make somebody. One of those guys que ven ese TikTok, oh, they're going to want to see more just because ella es linda. Just por eso, for that alone. So esa cosita, these are all the things that she has working for her that, sorry to say, y yo no estoy diciendo que Michaela es fea, pero there's a lot of people like me que no le gusta la güera. Not that much.
But it's not even that. It's just you can't teach charisma.
Yeah, no, you can't. Como el charisma que yo tengo. El carisma que yo tengo, yo no puedo. No, I'm just playing. I was just waiting for somebody to check me.
Like Senicia's gonna be the first. She's gonna be the first 7-figure fighter domestically.
I believe so. I said, if you go to the videos that I did like last year, and when I was talking about her in those segments of the relay, I said I think she's a game changer. Because it's not just the fighting, it's the other stuff. It's not just the fighting. Like, she has the skills. There's not a lot of girls, if any girls, like, that can beat Alicia at those weights. There's only 2 that might give her a problem, and for me, it's really 1, and that's Delphine. But I could see her beating Delphine. I'm not even kidding. I can see her beating Delphine, and for those that don't agree with me, watch Persoon versus Helen Joseph, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That, yeah, she can beat you because Helen Joseph is a bantamweight, and she was giving you mad problems.
Yep.
She's giving you mad problems, and it's because Helen Joseph is not upright in a high guard. She bends at the knees, bends at the waist, moves her torso, changes levels, brings in overhands. Alicia being bigger than Helen Joseph and stronger than Helen Joseph, yeah, I think she could. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think she could knock out Delphine Persoon. She's getting older. She is getting older. Yeah. I mean, so, y también, a mí, mira, Amanda Serrano, God bless that kid. Y'all know I'm not a big fan, but God bless that kid. Pero, porque yo no soy malo, I'm happy that she's doing what she, like, I'm happy for, like, yeah, now people know you, they root for you, y toda la vaina, and you're about to become undisputed. Toda esa cosa linda. Eso es buenísimo. Pero, seriamente, Alicia le gana a ella más fácil que Katie. Más fácil. Porque ella se mueve más que Katie.
I'm a big Amanda Serrano fan, and I think that would be a torch-passing fight.
I agree. Ella le gana a Amanda más fácil que Katie. ¿Por qué? ¿Tú no viste lo que el movimiento de Sarah Mahfoud hizo? It took so much off of her power that Sarah Mahfoud went the distance just by moving lateral, just by pivots and shifts and moving lateral. Alicia could do that and then some, and she has power. Telling you, ella le gana. So, esa niña tiene opciones, and the world is her oyster. Yo voy a orar for Michaela Mayer, because what I don't want is for the losers of this weekend's fight, I don't want them to disappear. They're great fighters. They're a part of why those fights were great. I don't want them to go away. I want them to stay. I want them to get back in the winner's bracket and keep raising the profile of the sport, because this is the lineage now. Michaela Mayer versus Alicia Baumgardner. Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields. These are fights that, like, yo, I don't know all these different girls, but I know them. You see what I mean? For the casuals that don't follow everybody. So they need to stay, man. They need to stay. Let's hope they do.
I love how Jules now Benavidez supporters are turning on him.
Bueno, es que cuánta mierda se tiene que aguantar ese muchacho.
The one saying Canelo ducking him are now saying, why is he fighting him?
9 meses por Kyrteky. 9 meses. 9 meses para ese disparate. Like, bro, if you're going to schedule a fight as far ahead as January, just schedule Caleb Plant. What is the problem? Just schedule. He just knocked out Anthony Durrell, a common opponent between you and him. Why are you scheduling Kyrteky? Schedule Caleb Plant. If you need more time, fuck it, push it to February. Nobody wants to see these dumbass, like, nobody want to see that dumbass shit. Ahí está la Spicy. La Spicy llegó. Déjame mandarle un link a la Spicy. Like, the shit doesn't make sense. Like, you can't have a proliferation of fighters on that side of the street, which is your side of the street. You have all these fighters that are there and all these fights that are not happening, and it looks stupid. So you're not going to fight Charlo, and you're not going to fight Morel either. Plant tampoco, but you're fighting Uscat. ¿Qué es esto, money? ¿Qué es esto? What is that shit, bro? That shit doesn't make sense, bro.
Wonderful matchmaking at work.
That shit doesn't make sense. You can't have this. All the guys that people want to see you fight are there with you, aside from Canelo. Pero Canelo es una persona, manín. La carrera tuya no puede ser nada más de Canelo. I got to get Canelo or nobody. Pues vete pa'l diablo entonces. Que ese muchacho, he needs a fucking vacation, bro. I actually want him to take a vacation. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Eso son estupideces, man. No. That makes absolutely no sense. You have 3-4 potential opponent options, not even counting a network and promotional free agent like Demetrius on. Oh, nope, he's out of it. No, you can't fight him either. Who the fuck do you think wants to see this shit, bro? And why is Showtime, another thing that I noticed is, why is Showtime strategically waiting until January for everything? What's going to happen in January? Because they seem to be waiting for January. Charlo versus Zoo, January. Benavidez versus Kyrteky, January. I heard Crawford versus Spence. I think I heard February. I think. And
what happened to that whole mess that Showtime was moving to Paramount? Was that just the app, or that's like the whole network itself?
Esto es lo que está pasando in a nutshell. All the content that Showtime has essentially belongs to Paramount. And because Paramount has their own streaming platform with more subscribers than Showtime, they don't need Showtime to distribute that content. They can do that themselves. So in order to enhance their catalog on Paramount Plus, they want to phase out Showtime.
But you're talking about the app or Showtime, the channel itself?
No, the whole thing, the whole channel, enterito. Eso lo, y ese, el lío es que it wouldn't be so bad for PBC si lo número y los ratings were high. If the ratings are high, they'll bring you over because they'll say, well, no, this moves the needle. You know, people subscribe to Showtime so that they can watch this. Pero que cuando tú ves los números de Fundora, que he didn't even, bro, that shit is sad, bro. It's sad.
Free, I think like 100 and what they say, 180?
Wait, rating? Oh, hell no.
It's terrible.
Okay, let me say this. You can lie about the pay-per-view numbers all you want. Drop the pay-per-view numbers to the media and hype up your fighters. But when a TV network is struggling, not only to give you fights, is struggling to make the decision to we're gonna keep this content on our platform, you can tell those pay-per-view numbers are lies.
Esos
Look
son
at the,
embustes, Leo. Esos son
look
puro
at the zone.
embuste.
Look at fucking the zone. Everyone talking shit about the zone. They are bigger than ever.
Tú sabes, Jules.
They say their app
It's
is
funny.
dying, but look at the zone.
Exactamente,
Not even that.
Martín, exacto. Piénsalo tú. If the zone is dying, cada sábado, esos mamagüevos de Twitter, ¿de qué están hablando? De peleas que están en the zone. Si no es el Canelo con el Golovkin, maldito Joshua con Usyk. So no me digas tú que tú no estás viendo el maldito app. If you're talking about the content that's on it, you're watching it. We're all watching it because those are the important fights.
And they got bangers coming up.
How do I know it's done now? Espinosa's talking about everything but what Yahoo Finance and all the business outlets are talking about when it comes to his parents. He's avoiding commenting on any of that.
And it's like boxing people aren't gonna, the people that keep up with boxing news, they're not gonna understand this is bigger than boxing. This directly relates to what the television experience is in the American household now, that it's much more customized than it ever was. People only want to pay for what they watch. They don't want to pay for extra bullshit. And Paramount doesn't need Showtime. They can purge what content they want that works and shed the excess. Like I said, it wouldn't be so bad for the PBC if the numbers were good. If the ratings were good and the pay-per-view buys were good, then it wouldn't be a problem. They'd just bring you over. But I don't know that they'll bring you over because the numbers are down. The numbers are lower than they ever were.
But don't they have a contract with Fox?
It expires this year.
Holy shit.
And all those television contracts have outs based on performance, they're at will to a degree.
Yeah, at their discretion. What Marcos Villegas said, y eso yo lo sabía ya, yo lo sabía. I looked at certain fights that ended up on pay-per-view, and I'm like, I know why you're doing that. The network doesn't want to give you any money. Like Ruiz versus Areola last year. I know why they're doing that. The network isn't going to give Ruiz I don't care what you did with Joshua and where the fuck you did it. We're not giving you that shit. So if you want to, we'll let you use the platform, but we're not giving you no exorbitant guarantee. We're not, because you're not living up to the metrics that we wanted. We're already a huge network. We have money, but you're not doing anything extra for us. You're not. So we don't actually need you.
It's just it highlights what we always say, that vocal minority on Twitter. They're so small that they show up to the fights for free tickets. They're not even paying for the shit.
Bro, not even that. They don't even pay for pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. They're not even paying for nothing.
Huge Wilder fans, right? Because right after the Haney fight, I was like, all right, good night. I didn't pay to watch this fight. I'm going to go to sleep. DMing me, oh, here's a link. I'm like, bro, how is this helping your favorite fighter?
Dímelo, ellos no tienen conciencia. Shout out to Martin Munoz. I appreciate the Cash App donation. You didn't have to do that, but you did it. I appreciate it. Eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo. When I like a fighter, que cuando a mí me gusta algo, yeah, I'm gonna fucking support it because I want it to keep going. It's common sense. If I want, like Spence versus Porter, yeah, I bought it because I knew it was gonna be a good fight. If I want to see unifications, when Charlo versus Rosario, when they did that, I fucking bought it because I want unifications. Pero si tú vas a un lambón con todita la pelea, nobody needs you, bro. Nobody needs you. Nobody needs to know what you think about. Tú eres un lambón. Puro lambón. Nobody fucking needs you, bro. Ahora si yo, if I steal a Wilder fight, for example, I'm not the one who thinks he's great. You are.
and how fast did we get the gate for Tank, Rolly, Spence, Ugas, the numbers for both of them? We got those within 72 hours.
Listen, before I pass it to Spicy, Drew, I need you to get on. I need you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. On the Tuesday after Canelo versus Triple G, mamagüevo, he claimed he already had numbers. So what I need everybody on this panel to do tomorrow is quote tweet Dan Rafael, whatever he says, and ask him, hey, what are the numbers for Wilder versus Helenius? Because you got the numbers for Canelo like that. You telling me you got sources in DAZN but no sources at Showtime? I don't believe you. What were the numbers? Ponle la presión a ese tipo, porque ese tipo un embustero. And I've been said that. You're either reporting partial intel or bad intel, but there's no way you have access to DAZN's numbers. There's no way. There's no way. You can have access maybe to Barstool and cable and satellite, but we know it wasn't just on Barstool. It was on DAZN. Where would you have gotten those numbers?
And then he doubled down saying like, well, yeah, there was 400, 500,000 pay-per-views abroad.
Yeah.
Well,
his
guys,
sources
they
at
got
DAZN
that.
are at Showtime.
All right, go ahead, Spicy.
So you know that they got, supposedly, this is how they got those numbers. The day after the fight in Las Vegas, pay-per-view or pay-per-view had a meeting, and or like a promotional thing where a bunch of media was there, and someone con la boca with the loose mouth said those numbers, but those numbers are not legit. It's just something that someone said in that meeting.
Esto es lo que yo estoy diciendo. By Tuesday, they haven't stopped counting. I don't believe they stopped counting. Not by Tuesday. Conventionally, it does take a little while for cable and satellite. Now, for digital, which would be the DAZN platform, they can know what those numbers are a lot faster. But who do you know at DAZN? No one. Who do you know? Who you would have to know someone at DAZN that gave you those numbers. And I don't think you know anybody there. What I do see is you're getting real cozy with Leonard Ellerby and Stefan Espinoza. That's what I see. That you more buddy with them now than you were in previous years. So I'd sooner believe that one of them told you that dumb shit than you actually got it from somebody. Because it's kind of obvious that, bro, you are not going to have access to those numbers on a Tuesday. I don't believe you. The most you could probably get are Barstool's numbers, which are conventional cable and satellite, but not the DAZN numbers. And if it's being distributed on two platforms, if it has two distributors, essentially, you're not getting all the numbers just by reporting these. If Canelo sold 800,000 with Caleb Plant, what makes you think he can't do better than that with Gennady? Like, it's childish, man. It's fucking childish. Shout out to Will, who says, Crawford versus Spence is an instant headache anymore. 1 minute it's happening, the next it's not. It was November, now it's February. Yeah, man, yo estoy harto. 3 years of Spanish class y yo comprendo 70%. Ya tú sabes, manín. We got
negative 70.
Negative.
He put the negative sign in front.
Well, I am Dominican and our Spanish is a little different than everybody else's. It is. Well, everybody's Spanish is a little different.
Can I tell you something, though? If that fight ever does happen, it's going to tank so bad.
Bueno, eso es culpa de ellos.
That shit's stale now. Nobody wants it.
Yeah. Perdón, pero ¿de qué pelea? What fight are we talking about?
Crawford and Spence.
Oh, okay.
Es que ya uno se harta, man, que de verdad, ok, yo hago un dinerito del boxeo, está bien, pero the average guy that is a fight fan, that they're not they're not getting revenue from any of this, ellos no tienen tiempo para estar oyendo toda esta vaina, y que no, que en noviembre y después en enero, no deja la vaina, manín, ¿van a pelear o no van a pelear? What is it? Are they going to fight or they not going to fight? Porque ya it's 4 years, bro. There's no Top Rank. There's no Bob Arum. There's nobody in the way. And you still can't bring this shit? You still can't do this? What the fuck is the problem? Excusa y más excusa. I don't know what's happening in January. Drew, is it possible that the reason they want to do everything in January is because they're waiting on the next annual budget to finance the fights?
I think they're waiting to see if they're even going to have a platform. Because we already know one of those fights is David's.
Yeah. And the others is Charlo's.
And the other's Charlo. So if they ever see that fight, Bud's going to be out the ring a year and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, they go dark February 1st.
Wouldn't he have to defend by then? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, like, it's been a minute since he's had like a title defense. So, like, at what point are the WBO just gonna be like, hey, this fight hasn't been happening for like a year now. We were just gonna throw like Virgil Ortiz or something in there.
Well, they told Bud, Paco, the president, he said that Bud has 18 months or up to 18 months from the Sean Porter fight to before his next mandatory. So, by January, that's not really 18 months. That's about 14, 15 months. He has, I think, until spring or summer before the next one will be due.
You got till about May, the 1st of May, because end of April.
Yeah. So he has time. That won't be an issue. But it's just that I lose excitement as a fan when I see that, like, damn, Bud hasn't fought all year. So he's not. What if he's not up to scratch? Now I'm not excited because what if he's not sharp? He's never had a layoff this long. You see what I mean? And I lose excitement off of that. They're like, so y'all getting me a Bud that ain't fought in over 12 months.
Do you think that's intentional?
Go ahead.
I was asking, do you think that's intentional on their behalf?
Con esos mamagüevos, probably, bro. Que ellos son unos pendejos allá, man. Todo clase de estupideces because just stupid bullshit. Like, yo, you don't believe in that, dude. You got to do all this suck ass, just bitch ass, bullshit ass shit, bro. Man, vete pa'l diablo, man.
The way it's looking, honestly, the way it's looking, they didn't anticipate Paramount pulling the plug.
They didn't. I don't think they saw that.
And
coming.
that's how bad. There's no money. There's no. Steven Espinosa's boss is gone.
Y eso es lo que yo estoy diciendo, Drew. Que algo así, el presidente or whatever he was, because he was one of the higher ups. He was Steven's boss.
He was a CEO.
He made a
Showtime.
decision.
Yeah.
He made a decision that I'm going to leave by the end of the year. Why? What happens at the end of the year?
Fiscal. They close the books.
Posiblemente.
Hey Jay, is one of your rules in the
out there as a rumor?
No, it's not.
That might not be the only company that's going to be gone by the end of the year.
Who's the other one?
I can't say.
Yes, you can.
Triller?
I can't.
Nah, it's either Triller or Golden Boy.
Say it.
I can't, but a lot of people are just talking about that.
Is it
no?
You could say this: is it a network? Is it a network or a promotional company?
You'll see.
No.
But there's a lot going on, definitely, and a lot of people are pulling out. And I think it's because they don't like what's going on right now.
Pro Bellum.
Pro Bellum? Oh yeah, that is a good idea. I haven't heard a lot from them.
Tell me who it is, Spicy.
Oh, and then I also don't think they should promote fights if they're not in the gym. Like, como se dice, Crawford, he was partying here in Arizona last weekend.
Spicy, ¿cuál compañía? Which company are you talking about? Come on, no, don't be like that. Yo digo todos los secretos. ¿Qué? Dime el secreto. ¿Cuál secreto? Who is it?
I can't say it.
Come on.
Is it an American company or international?
Well, that's gonna say it all if I say it.
No, it's not.
¿Cuál es el punto de
So it's not an American company. It's international.
No, puede ser uno o el otro, pero la cosa es que si digo una o la otra.
I know who it is because I heard the rumor. I know who it is. Boxer.
Really? Why?
I heard
Did
that.
they just have a good show?
I heard Ben Shalom. Well, this is the thing. I'll say this: the success of the show. I don't know. Hopefully, something changes. But 3 days ago, I was told that Boxer and Ben Shalom are leaving Sky. That's what I was told.
I heard that too.
So I don't like it. I don't like it because I like what they have. I like what they've done. But and I want them to grow. But that's what I heard. It's Boxer and Ben Shalom.
And what it's looking
where do you
like,
think
honestly,
they're headed?
They can go. Look, they can go to DAZN, but there are other channels also there in the UK that they can go to. They can go to BT.
Yeah, they go to BT.
Damn, that's true.
Here's the thing, what it is. DAZN switched up, me and Jules talked to DAZN switched up their model from rushing in, trying to buy everybody out, to let's just sit back, play the long game of attrition. We have the bigger war chest, and people want to fight with us. We can make fights everywhere. They just did that card in Australia.
They also established themselves very quickly to be able to do that.
Mauricio Lara fights this week. Like, they could just
They're
go
everywhere.
slow and steady.
I think they've had a fight like every week.
Look at their card. Look at Matchroom's schedule the rest of the year, or in conjunction with Matchroom.
Bro, they had the craziest fights.
And then we got all the American guys mad at it. We got Alexis saying they're not entertaining fights.
Well, look, if you want to know if DAZN is doing good, just rate the stupidity of Alexis's quotes, and that's how you'll know. The more angry and bitter. Yo, he called Alicia a skank, bro. That's how I know he mad, because he called Alicia a skank. I'm like, bro, you must be really mad that because that's not even boxing, bro. Like, why would you say that?
Oh no, he didn't. He did not.
Did, I swear.
But then in the other breath, he said, if you don't got Clarissa over Katie Taylor, you're racist.
What the fuck does he know about fucking Clarissa or Katie?
Who said this?
What the fuck?
I have a question. What skank means?
Eso es como diciendo cuero. Eso es como diciendo cuero. Eso es, él no te, like, si tú quieres decir que no pelea bien, que esto y lo otro está bien, pero tú no tienes que decir cosas así de esa muchacha. Que hasta el papá de la muchacha se enfojonó. Y he didn't know. Para mí, él no sabe que es el papá de esa muchacha. Él no sabe.
Alexis really say that?
Yes, bro. And I'm like, yo, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, what? You can say what you want on some boxing shit, está bien, pero ¿qué te pasa a ti que tú estás hablando así? Así no se habla. Es somebody's daughter, bro.
Isn't he like 50 years old, man? At your age, bro.
But dudes are really mad that those belts are going back to Matchroom.
Bueno, que cuando tú te pones a hablar mucha mierda, yo hablo mucha mierda, pero most of the time I'm right.
Look at Julius. Look at Spicy in the private chat.
I got you right now. Hold on, I gotta kick you. I gotta kick you out on Mr. Doc. I gotta bring Spicy back on. I'll let you in a little bit because we already got some people up here.
Look at what she wrote.
Mándame link por favor. It kicked me out. I got you.
No,
Charlo calls out Benavidez.
Spicy said, "I can't. I'll get fired."
I'll get fired.
By the way, Jules, it's called Dip Out. You can bring him in, okay?
Golden Boy.
Look,
I just said I gotta send Spicy the link, bro.
Jules, I'll dip out. It's cool. Yeah, y'all take care.
I like that nickname.
It's Golden Boy. She's talking about Golden Boy. Charlo calls out Benavidez but fights Montiel. Benavidez says he wants the Bivol versus Zerto winner but fights Kyrteky. Pure dumpster juice. I heard about a deal. Bro, I heard about a deal between Golden Boy. Golden Boy is leaving DAZN and they may go over to Showtime. However, I question the legitimacy of that intel based on what's going on at Showtime. That's why I question it. That I'm like, look, it wouldn't be bad if Golden Boy went over there because then maybe we get Ryan versus Davis. That's not bad. Maybe we get, Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis. That's not bad. I wouldn't be against them going over there. But because of what's happening with Showtime, I'm like, I don't even know if there's going to be a Showtime this time next year. Spicy, ya yo sé el secreto, que lo que.
Also, what could they possibly put on there for $80? Good.
Blair to Flair?
Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia versus Tank. That's about it.
Spicy, I know who your employer is. Okay. I know who you work for. Or I've always known. I have your social security number. I have yours too, Kat. I have Drew's as well. Both the Mexican one and the American one.
You ain't got shit on me. You ain't got shit on me, Jules.
I got
He's
you.
got my. He's got my. What they call it in Mexico.
Blood work.
I fucking file on you, dog.
You got my pictures?
My credit card because there was like a suspicious activity the other day.
Yeah, he's got my Mexican court.
Wait.
He's got my court number.
Who got?
Wait, are you the one that bought all those jean jackets?
What?
Yes, that was me that bought the jean jacket.
Yeah, because I
Oh shit! Okay, you got me, Jules. The jean jackets, you got me and my metalhead buddies with the jean jackets. You did.
I'm telling you, I'm stealing from all y'all.
You're getting all of us.
He bought the Wilder pay-per-view with him.
But the other rumor, I heard two rumors the last 4 days. One is that Boxer may leave Sky. That was one. And the other one I heard is that Golden Boy might.
Amen. ¿Qué pasó?
Ben Shalom just killed Spicy. Spicy.
No, that wasn't me.
Headshot. What?
Yeah, I'm saying. But one is that Boxer may leave Sky. And the other is that Golden Boy may migrate from DAZN over to Showtime. Those are the two big platform rumors that I heard the last 4 days. Those are the two. Golden Boy doesn't have much of a stable. They don't really have they don't, like they really don't. They have Jaime Mofongo, pero ¿qué se va a hacer con ese muchacho?
But
how different would it be
internal.
if Golden Boy goes to
This is what I
Showtime?
heard, and I'll get more information Wednesday.
They would
There's a lot of
actually-
internal conflict over there at Golden Boy between Oscar's girl and Eric Gomez and the other side.
Bueno, es que Eric y Roberto están trabajando y Oscar está oliendo. Eso es lo que está pasando.
I would.
The work at Golden Boy is performed by two guys, Roberto Diaz and Eric Gomez. Those are the guys that are working.
Well,
Oscar,
we know Oscar isn't like he's a figurehead, right?
yeah, he's a figurehead. Like he just
He's the Ellerby of Golden Boy.
Yo,
But Oscar actually has value.
hey, now hang on. I gotta say this for Oscar. Say what we want about Oscar. He didn't get left hung out to dry to get beaten up allegedly by Jay Prince and company while my man was in the fucking bathroom calling up
motherfucker in the
who did he call? Who did he call, Jules? Who did he
Bob
call?
Arum. Bob Arum. That's
Who are you gonna call? Who are you gonna call?
Bob Arum. Something strange. Jay Prince don't look good.
Exactly.
Who you gonna
And
call?
allegedly,
Bob Arum.
Yep. While he's calling Bob Arum, Leonard Ellaby's getting punched up. This is the alleged. I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't want to be taken to court for this.
Yes, Will. I heard that Oscar's girl is just in Oscar's ear. Like, what are they spending the money on? Where's all the money for the company going?
Well, I'll say this pertaining to something that was going on with a fighter not that long ago, and what that fighter's minimum should have been, and the reason that fighter ended up leaving.
Estrada.
Cállate. No digas nada. Y no digas nada. Basically, I told my friend, this is a good guy, I like that guy. Lo que ellos están haciendo es robando. They get the budget from DAZN, y después yo le dicen a the fighter, we only have this, and they take the excess and they put it in their pocket. Eso es lo que está pasando. Because it didn't make sense.
They get a percentage.
No, but that makes sense because look what they did. Look how they did Canelo when they cut that deal with DAZN.
So, ellos son unos ladrones allá, man. Eso es lo que está pasando. Yo no sabía que trabaja para Golden Boys, para los Goldens.
And I'm gonna go on a hot take. Them losing Senicia, that's gonna be the nail in the coffin for them. When she gets to that level, Jules, and they're gonna see like, damn, we fucked that up too.
Okay, they don't have anything, bro. You can't. Ryan is too unstable to carry a company, and we don't even know.
They need to put their money and their backing behind Ortiz. I've said this before.
I agree with you. Y si Surdo pierde en Abu Dhabi, en Cabo, whatever.
Y'all talking about Virgil, right? Virgil?
Yep.
Yeah,
If Zerto loses to Dimitri, más malo, la piñeta agria. Telling you. And it's gonna be like, yo, what the fuck do y'all got, yo? What we giving y'all a budget for? You ain't got no champions. Bueno, except Marlene. Pero pobrecita Marlene, she doesn't have a big following. She doesn't, pobrecita. Y ella trabaja duro. I want her to work. I want her to make it. I want everybody to make it. But realistically, the biggest draw they have is Ryan. And Ryan is more unstable than everyone else.
The biggest, really?
Well,
Yeah,
he's
it's
already
Ryan.
coming out
easily.
saying "fuck Golden Boy." It doesn't get worse than that, does it?
No.
And Oscar's too busy building his new house in Vegas.
Oscar don't give a shit, bro.
Oscar's too busy building his next pile of coke.
I'm just telling you, like Oscar he's in the wrong racket. He needs to just start selling drugs, bro. Like that's what he's in the wrong racket. You know, like you did what you just to start selling coke, bro. Like it's nothing
Isn't
wrong
he
with
already selling a drug? A men's drug?
already using one. He's already using one. I don't know about selling it, but if Zerto loses this fight, You know, that's very bad because that's one of their guys that they're trying to groom and build up. If you can believe that, a guy with over 40 fights needs more building up. Better still, that's one of the guys that they want him to be like a flagship fighter. If he loses, that's even worse, bro. And he might lose. You know, he might. Bivol's a really good boxer.
Jules,
it depends how he loses?
Maybe. I mean, like, you're talking like knockdowns and it's dramatic and fun. Yeah, but if it's a schooling, that's bad.
Yeah.
You know, call me crazy, but I definitely have Surdo for this fight.
I think you're crazy.
I think you're crazy, honey.
I know. At first I was like, there's no way Surdo's gonna beat Bivol. But after seeing the weigh-in of what is it called? The live ¿Cómo se dice?
The press conference that they had. And
he's like very confident.
No, mira, he's confident because of a sparring session in San Diego that they had a couple of years ago. That's why he's confident. Y yo no estoy diciendo que Surdo es una basura. Like, he stands a chance. Let's be honest. He does stand a chance. But if he loses and it's one-sided, yeah, that's bad, man. That's bad for Golden Boy.
Nah, I'm gonna say it now.
I got a question.
Bivol's gonna show another.
I'm sorry.
I got Bivol stopping him.
He's not gonna stop him.
I got it.
I got a question,
He's not gonna
Jules.
stop him, no.
I got a question.
Same way I got it the same way. I just feel the same way Bam was gonna stop Romasai. It's just he's gonna turn it up another level.
Is this fight between Zerto and Bivol? Is this like for Golden Boy? For Golden Boy, not for just for Golden Boy as an entity. How significant is this? Is this like
I think it's important?
Is it Cannoli Lara? Is it Cannoli Golovkin 1? You know what I mean? Give me a
Look, here's the gauge, Doc. Here's the gauge.
Yeah, gauge.
For Zerto, it would be monumental if he were to beat Bivol because Bivol just beat Canelo. So here you have a guy, pulse of the Mexican fans and the Chicano fans, a fighter of Mexican national, becomes a champion, beats Bivol. Okay, now you're cooking with rice. You got yourself a star.
That has to be.
No, here's the thing.
Has to be the hope for Oscar, right?
Evil's going to put him over rice.
If Zerto wins, that's an influx of another $20-30 million into Golden Boy through that Canelo.
Oh, damn! Yes. Okay, that's significant.
That's what's on the line here.
Listen, I'm not even Mexican, right? But check this. This is for the heart and soul of Mexican boxing. Because if Zerto wins that fight, the only fight on this planet to make is Zerto versus Canelo for the heart and soul of Mexican boxing.
Oh, now in the Western Hemisphere, I gotta say, Jules, in the Western Hemisphere.
No, I'm talking.
Listen,
I've been to space. Okay, I have been.
Okay, you're going to go further. Go ahead.
Okay, the biggest fight in this galaxy. I'm talking about the Milky Way galaxy. In Andromeda, it's a different fight. It's a completely different fight. Two different guys. But in this galaxy, if Zerto beats Bivol to where he's reduced him to a bloody mess, he's bleeding, he's beat up. You never seen him get hit that much.
Fuck out of it.
All right, think about that, Doc. If he goes in there and beats the hell out of the guy that just outclassed Canelo, how big is that? How major is that?
I was just going to say that's the biggest. Hang on. At minimum, that is the biggest fight in the Western Hemisphere.
That's what we're saying.
I think Oscar's girlfriend's gonna leave him.
The biggest fight in the Western Hemisphere. It's the biggest fight on the planet.
That'll be Raider Stadium in Vegas. You can
hang
get
on. If for some reason, the reason I held in reserve, if for some reason out of the blue fucking Usyk Fury happens, right? That to me would be bigger.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. Nobody say nothing. I'm trying to tell you. Tyson Fury by himself does not command the purses that Canelo commands.
Oh, no.
Period. Usyk by himself does not command the purses that Canelo commands. And I'm telling you, Canelo versus Zerto, if Zerto were to win in dramatic fashion, people would die watching that fight. People's heads would explode watching that fucking fight.
Okay, now, the only argument I can think of, I'm playing devil's advocate, Jules. The only argument I can think of then, based on what you're saying, is again, this would be like, it's somebody pulling out the fucking Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Listen,
if you get Fury AJ.
Not even that, because of the visuals.
Not even that. Okay.
Let me break this down for you. You don't see it yet. I see it because I'm ahead of all of you. I'm in a different time zone. Like I'm just like super duper smart.
You're in a different dimension, bro.
I'm in a different dimension. Like, let me go. I'm not even here. The visuals associated with Canelo versus Zerto is a true blue David versus Goliath kind of situation, with the most relevant fan base in the American populace, the Chicano and Mexican fans. If they see those two guys, bro, people are gonna fucking die, bro. You're gonna die at the weigh-in, bro, of excitement. They're gonna fucking die. People are gonna have heart attacks. All right.
They're gonna throw panties. They're gonna throw panties.
Milk is gonna go bad.
Well,
right?
the problem with that is Canelo does not want to fight Surdo. If Surdo and Bivol fight, when they fight, and let's say Bivol loses, Canelo still wants to fight Bivol.
Esto es lo que yo estoy diciendo. Canelo dijo que si Bivol pierde esa pelea, he's not going to fight him. He said
no,
that.
he's lying.
Yeah,
he said,
that.
You know what? He said, he went back on that, and he said regardless, he's fighting Bivol, whether he wins or he loses. He said it would be less entertaining if he loses, but his mind is still on Bivol.
That's right now.
Déjame decirte esto, Spicy, déjame decirte esto. La presión of his own fan base would force him to fight Zerto. That's the same thing that happened with Golovkin. Ese año entero que él no peleó con Golovkin, la gente lo estaban atacando in social media. La gente, they wanted him to fight Golovkin. Y la presión is what made the fight finally happen.
No fue la presión. Fue the fact that DAZN signed him to a 3-fight contract.
No, DAZN. Yo estoy hablando de la primera pelea.
Oh, okay.
La primera pelea, la presión que la gente le estaban poniendo a Canelo, porque Canelo, he went down to fucking 154. He vacated the WBC. He went down to 54. He fought Liam Smith. Nobody wanted to buy that shit. His numbers were down. You know what I mean? His numbers.
Here's the thing. If Canelo thought he couldn't go anywhere without getting asked about Triple G, then social media in public, the golf course, wherever the fuck, can you imagine when it's another Mexican?
Bro, people will die, bro. If they make that fight, people will.
It all comes down to Zerto beating Bivol, right?
It does though, and that's the relevance and significance of the fight. That if he can, we have one mother of a fight on our hand. Quetzalcoatl, he'll come out of those pyramids they got in Mexico.
The flying snake,
the Thunderbird, all types of shit. The ground is gonna split open, and George Lopez is gonna come out of that shit. It's gonna be fucking crazy.
Dude, the Mayan calendar.
You don't understand. Y'all don't understand. That would be Guadalajara versus Sinaloa. Like, bro.
Oh, hey, that's a rivalry. That's
y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jules is right. Like, you put those two. Canelo can't go nowhere.
People are gonna die. I'm trying to tell y'all that cartels are gonna be at war. People are gonna sniff coke. People are gonna sniff coke out of different nostrils. It's gonna be fucking crazy, bro.
And if they fight in Mexico, bro.
Bueno.
You think that fight does 2 million?
Oh God, now see, you could have it.
Too dangerous to fight in Mexico.
Hang on, wait, hang on. Why can't we have Aztec? They did Azteca Stadium. They did Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Again,
yeah, but that was Greg Haugen, bro.
Canelo is not fighting. He will not fight in Mexico. Mexico cannot afford Canelo. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen, bro.
I will take you guys' word for it. Fair enough.
You know where it can happen? You know where it can happen? Nobody say nothing. Allegiant Stadium. All right? That's where it happens.
Arlington, Texas.
Trying to tell y'all, man. Allegiant Stadium. That's where it goes down. And I'm telling you, people will die. People are going to get shot. The ground is going to split open. There's going to be an earthquake in California. It's going to be fucking crazy.
Is there going to be a crowd?
What about the Rose Bowl?
Like a Who concert, right?
It's going to be like a Who concert, bro. It's all types of shit is going to be going on, right? It's serious shit. If Zerto wins. If he doesn't
win. How many pay-per-views, Jules?
Honest to God, look, honest to God, I'm not even kidding. I think maybe 1.5, maybe 1.6. 1.5, 1.6 million. This is different, bro. This is a different. This is the most. That would easily become the most relevant fight of postmodern boxing, bro.
25 million, $30 million gate.
I think 2 million, actually.
But would you be upset if Canelo was like, you know what? I still want to go for Bivol.
As someone that has the Mexican citizenship, I know he won't do that.
Listen. I've been Mexican all my
Wait,
life.
you said you know he won't do that? How do you know that?
Listen,
No.
I'm
Hang
more
on.
Mexican than everybody on this panel, and I got to tell you something. Canelo's pride as a Mexican will not allow him to ignore that fight. He has his pride. Canelo. I'm not Mexican, actually. I lied, but still, Canelo is a very proud man. And he likes how his Mexican fans. He likes how they look at him. The only thing that could change that is another Mexican.
Oh,
look at Spicy. He's spicy. He felt the pressure to even fight Chavez Jr.
Yeah.
Chavez Jr. Guys. Chavez Jr. is trash. Okay, no one in the Mexican culture
that's
respects.
not a fight.
That was still Sinaloa versus Jalisco.
Por un ejemplo, mi gente.
I'm sorry.
That shit did a million pay-per-view buys for perspective.
And he did that for Chavez. He did that because Chavez asked him to.
Bueno, mira, Chavo una basura, pero si Surdo le gana a Bivol, ¿él una basura? No.
Wait, let me say this. Surdo has been irrelevant for the super middleweight and the light heavyweight division for years.
True.
But Surdo has been telling anyone all these years, Canelo is blocking me. If Surdo goes there and beats Bivol in convincing fashion, he's going to say to everyone, I've told you, Canelo doesn't want to fight me.
Jehová himself va a abrir un cloud. Canelo pelea con Surdo. He's gonna close it after that, bro.
What do you think?
Hang on. I want to make it clear.
Wait.
Hang on, guys. He cannot. If Bivol loses to Zerto, he cannot go back and fight Bivol. He has to fight Zerto. Yeah. Am I wrong?
No, you are wrong because Canelo does what he wants, and he wants to fight Bivol. He wants to win.
Epistemologically, I'm not wrong.
Listen. This is the thing. He can fight Bivol before or after, right? This is where I'm at. You can fight Bivol after that because you need revenge for what happened. But what you can't do is not fight Zerto. You have to fight Zerto. You have to. There's no way around it.
Jules, he has to fight. Hang on. No, I want to get this. I want to clarify. Jules, I want to ask you: Does Cannoli, is he obligated to fight the winner of Zerto? No, I'm not asking you.
You don't want to. Listen. This is the thing. You guys
don't. Truth. Give me the truth.
Let me talk. You don't want to understand.
I'm muting.
You don't want to understand this, all right?
The truth.
The pressure is not just going to come from the fans. It's going to come from DAZN. There will be nowhere to hide. You can't hide in Mexico. You can't hide in social media. There's no other platform to go. Everyone is watching. If Zerto wins that fight and he knocks out Bivol, you're next, bro.
Se va a tener que tragar la bala.
Just wait till what Juan Manuel Marquez will say if Zerto wins.
Y el otro mamagüevo ese, ¿cómo se llama ese mamagüevo que siempre está hablando mierda de Canelo?
What is Marquez, Morales? What do they else say?
What would happen to better be Bivol? Because that's like for Russian people what that fight is for Mexicans.
Listen, man, them Russians.
Can they still do? That's Jules. Can they still do that if Bivol loses, like, let's say loses on points to Zerto? So you got Zerto, Cannoli's the obvious on that side. Can you still do? Is Bivol versus Better Beef still viable? What do you think?
I'm gonna tell you how it breaks down. Nobody say nothing. No one say anything. If Bivol loses on points, there will be a rematch. If Bivol gets knocked out, there is no rematch.
Ooh.
They don't run it back.
But they run it back if they point.
Silence. If he loses on points, what Bivol does after that, maybe Canelo, maybe Joshua Buatsi, if he loses on, if he gets knocked out. If he loses on points, they'll run it back. If it's a points decision, if it's close, if it's competitive, if there were moments where he had success, they'll run it back. He gets knocked out in the rematch if he loses on points in the first one. Now, if he gets knocked out in the first one, Canelo is next. It's that simple. I can't change it. I don't make the rules, Doc.
I'm with you, brother.
They are.
I'm with you, brother.
What time frame are we looking at?
It's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's what it is.
Martín. Espérese, gente. Ellos están peleando ahora en noviembre. Óyeme.
Escuchando.
Zerto's fighting Bivol in November. If he knocks him out in November, 5 de mayo, Canelo Álvarez versus Surdo Ramírez.
Viva México.
Viva México, cabronazo, coño.
A huevo.
I had to put a coño in there because I'm Dominican, pa que lo sepa.
I mean, but
Nah, but it
Jules,
would have to be in September.
Comprende.
Right?
you
Because
think
he's gonna get that layoff.
Marquez, Barrera, Morales, they're gonna let that slide?
No.
Nobody's gonna.
No, I think that's his point. He's saying there's going to be like in Rocky.
Don't you see the time frame?
Yeah,
if he knocks out Bivol in November, 5 de mayo está ahí.
That's why I asked. I knew it. That's why I asked.
Pero Canelo dice que no va a pelear.
Él puede decir lo que él quiere decir ahora.
Right. And which brings us back to the point, which is Cannoli, he's going to, pressure will be put on him to fight the winner. Am I wrong? The winner, whoever it is. But especially if it's Zerto. And I'm going back up.
There won't be no pressure for Bivol because that's not his weight class.
It's not his weight class.
No, but he's been asking for that. He's been asking for that.
I know, but there won't be no pressure.
You don't understand. It's different when it's your countrymen, bro. It is different. It is very different.
No, I understand. I'm saying if Bivol wins,
you wouldn't fight him either.
Hang on. This is what y'all don't want to understand. This is what y'all don't want to understand. He can say that right now. He can pay attention. Don't say nothing. Nobody say nothing. Imagine this for me, please. Just imagine this. It's November, all right? You already had some pizzas. You're watching the fight. Bivol is bleeding. Bivol is running. Zerto is stalking him and nailing him with body shots and uppercuts, and he drops him, all right? Imagine that, all right? And imagine that he stops him. You think Canelo can get away from that without being looked at as a complete fucking coward?
No. That's what I'm saying.
But why would he? Why would he be a coward if that's not even his weight class? I'm Mexican. I'm sorry, I do not want to watch that fight.
It's spicy. I'm not telling you that I think he's a coward. I'm not saying what I think.
IQ.
People are gonna say.
Spicy, stop, spicy. Tú sabes, spicy.
Pero quién? Los mexicanos americanos? Because as a Mexican, why would you want to see a Mexican fight another Mexican?
We wanted to see Morales. We wanted to see Marquez.
All right, listen. None of y'all are as old as me. All right. There's one thing about Mexicans y'all need to understand that y'all may not realize because y'all younger than me. Mexicans don't run. They beat the Americans and then sold them back the land. Mexicans don't run. Ain't no bitch in them.
Exactamente, pero son los mexicanos, entonces why would they fight each other?
What I'm telling you, Spicy, is a un mexicano, all that weight shit, a mí no me importa un cabrón. Yo, bro, Ray Vargas is about to fight O'Shaquie Foster, and he just fucking got the featherweight. And now he's going up to 130. I'm telling you, if Zerto beats this guy, Canelo has the fight.
Wait, can I say something?
Did I hear Marquez? Did I hear Barrera Morales say we're not fighting each other because they're Mexicans? They said, fuck you.
Can I say something?
That's pressure.
These are the putazos of our lives, bro. Okay?
But not even that. You think people don't get it. Listen. That Mexican machismo is real. Tell them, Jules. That machismo is real.
Listen. Y'all really read up on the history of just that entire region, California. They won that war, bro. Mexico won. And then they sold them back to shit. All right?
Bro, but it's an even fight. Canelo is 5'8", and Surdo is like, what, 6'4"?
Yo, it has to happen.
It's an uneven fight.
It has to happen.
It's a very uneven fight.
You
Wait, you think if he fights Benavidez, it would make up for it?
Yeah, I would rather see a Benavidez fight.
Espérese, gente. If he wants to surpass Chavez, espera, no hable.
I didn't like how that started.
No hable. No hable. If he wants to surpass Chavez in the eyes of Mexicans, he has to fight Zerto.
if Zerto wins.
He will never
Assuming
surpass
Zerto wins.
Travis ever in the eyes of Mexicans.
Con eso sí, te lo estoy diciendo.
Ever.
You don't want to hear
Y'all,
me.
Oh,
you
no,
guys,
no, if he
you
wants
guys,
in
to,
the
okay,
guys
Chavez
cannot
era.
also.
I grew up in the Chavez era.
Let's be a little more fair. If he wants to get in the conversation,
You
with
don't
Chavez.
listen.
I feel like Surdo has to do a little more though for that.
Espera. Y'all
Right.
don't say nothing. Y'all don't have the gift of foresight. Imagine a 5'8" Canelo with a 6'3" Zerto bearing down on him, and imagine that little Canelo, like little Mick in Mike Tyson's Punch Out, that he pulls it off and he wins and he stops.
I think he wins. I do think he wins.
But it's not just thinking, can he do it? Imagine the visual. He chopped the tree down. This is the guy that beat Bivol, and Bivol beat me. How do I beat him? It's the same thing that happened with Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, and George Foreman. Joe Frazier beat Ali, right? And then Joe Frazier got the life beat out of him by George Foreman. And Ali told him, I can beat him. I can stick him. I'm telling you, I can box him. It's the same parallel.
And then
Canelo just lost to Bivol. This is the fight, you motherfuckers.
Jules, you're from Harlem. Who's your guys' rival? What borough?
Brooklyn.
That's what Jalisco versus Sinaloa is.
I'm trying to
like
tell
that's
you.
just gonna happen.
Yeah, because y'all don't have the special cosmic powers that I have. You don't understand how emotional people would see that Canelo. You look, he can't be a bitch. Look at what he just did.
I want you to break this down, Jules, for them, because I to your point right there, right? I do not have that emotional contact that sense that you have, because I'm a Libra. So I'm the scales. You probably
you're balanced. Listen, you're balanced, but the layout, the universe. I'm trying to tell you,
I don't have that sense of emotion.
The universe wants this, and I see the template that Bivol beat Canelo, right? The same way that Joe beat Ali when he came back. And then let's say Bivol gets beat by Zerto, how Joe got beat by George, right?
You
think about that. And then Canelo gets to talking, I can stick him, I can beat him. And nobody believes him. Like Canelo, they're gonna be like, it's spicy.
Yeah,
no pelea con él. It's suicide. There's no easy way out. There is no all that shit, yo. And then imagine,
I was there when Canelo fought Bivol, right? We were all there, Mexican crowd, a whole arena full of Mexicans. You don't know how disappointed we were all of us. We were crying. A whole stadium.
I raised
crying.
Canelo since he had blonde hair.
Crying.
I know exactly.
You think we want to see him fight Bivol or Surdo? We don't.
I'm trying to tell you, yes, y'all do. You don't.
I'm telling you.
He didn't do nothing for us in that fight. He didn't do nothing.
Guys, you're missing a very important point in this conversation. Look, do you remember Tim Bradley when he fought Pacquiao the first time?
Yeah.
He won, right? Do you remember what happened? Yeah, quote unquote, he won, but he got the W. Do you remember what happened to Tim Bradley after?
Oh, he got pilloried. They came after.
No, they came after, and they came to his family. That was the USA. Imagine what happens if Canelo talks Surdo.
No. Okay. Hang on.
You know what happened after that?
I have to point out something that is going to be perhaps unpopular. Tim Bradley's wife, not a sympathetic figure. Not a sympathetic figure. I'm not saying that's good, bad, or indifferent. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you, when I put my ear to the street, Jules.
I've heard those things. I've heard those things. I've heard those things. I have no reason to broach them, but I've heard those things. All I'm trying to tell you guys is you can't see it now because the visual is not in front of you. It's in front of me. I see it. That, like, yo, dog, if Zerto reduces Bivol to a bloody grimace, we're back we're back there with Joe Frazier and George Foreman. That's where we are, and that is the effect. That is the effect that will have on this fight.
Well, it's
Canelo will become the Ali of the shit. He'll become the Mexican Ali of the shit.
A more simple. Hang on.
Don't you think?
Say it again. Say it again, bro.
Say it again, bro.
That's very unlikely that'll happen. Zerto beating Bivol to a pulse. This guy is durable.
I'm not. No, bro. I'm just saying if. I'm saying if, bro. If he beats it, eso pasa.
Unlikely though. That would happen the way you say, but it's just very unlikely that Zerto will. But I don't even think that he needs to beat him to a pulse. If he just beats him convincingly, not even dominantly, but convincingly, the fight will still be.
I'm going to do why.
Understand, over 15 rounds, right? Joe Frazier beat Ali over 15 rounds. Yes. Now, what made it a frightening proposition for Ali to fight George? That George destroyed Joe 2 rounds.
And Kenny Norton.
And Ken Norton. He beat
Kenny Norton, who gave him hell, broke his jaw.
So you have to understand that what makes it dramatic, what would catapult it to that realm of immortals, is if Zerto, you don't beat him on points, you fuck him up. You fuck him up real good. That's going to take you to a whole different place. Whole different place. I'm telling y'all.
Well, how did Tim Bradley start to
Canelo No, Jules has a point. Real quick, guys. I want to say, as a person that was a child at the time, and this was part of my Saturday morning cartoon. You know what I mean? Muhammad Ali was a Saturday morning cartoon hero to me. Joe Frazier, Saturday morning cartoon hero. Kenny Norton, fucking George Foreman, Saturday morning cartoon heroes. All right. So I watched this play out in that context. I'm not even going to pretend like I don't have bias or any of that. I'm just saying. So the whole notion, dude, when Howard Cosell talks about the rumble in the jungle,
could you hear the fear in Howard Cosell's voice?
It sounds like a eulogy, Bruce.
Could you hear the? Listen, for those that haven't heard it, all right, which is why I love Ali so, because it was that real. Howard was afraid, real, bro. He was afraid.
Eulogy. It sounds like a eulogy, Jules.
I don't think that Muhammad can win this fight. It is past him to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, dude. 32 was beyond at the time.
You telling me they won't say that about Canelo? Look, I love Canelo, but he can't do this.
Where's the how? No. They would kick out. No, Jules. This is the problem the goddamn sport has. You cannot have a Howard Cosell, because guess what happens to Howard Cosell? He gets kicked out of the goddamn camp and never gets any access.
Yeah.
Because he's going to ask hard questions.
Well, now, you have an Ali Sec back.
Are you really? No, Jules. Are you okay? Now you're instigating. You're instigating.
All right, you got
to. Cat said. Are you going to compare Ali Sec back to goddamn Howard Cosell?
He's all we've got. Okay.
No. Cat's right.
No. I don't. Shut up.
You shut up.
You shut the fuck up.
If that's all we've got, we are in big goddamn trouble.
Look, the closest. Look, I'll be honest with you.
Cat said you're media, Jules, so we got you.
Hello.
I am not Howard Cosell.
Cat, who's on Twitter saying thank you to Jules for bigging up women's boxing? All these trainers, all these fighters.
Hey, at least no. The women. I'm going to stand up for the women. The women get down. We have more undisputed champions in women's boxing. I don't give a fuck about goddamn talent pool or whatever. The bottom line is I'm a fan of boxing. I like to watch the goddamn fights. I'm not interested in, don't get me wrong, Jules. You are great at all the, the mechanics behind all that, right? I'm not trying to take that away from you. I'm just saying, as a long-time old school fan, I just want to see the fights. And
wait. That's the point that I've been making the whole time about women's boxing. If I leave a club, or I'm anywhere and there are two girls fighting, I'm not gonna say, oh, they're girls, I'm not gonna watch that. I'm gonna fucking watch, all right? Period. Period.
And Jules, how hard is it for us to get the girls that are at the top level to get
Hard
down?
at all. It's not hard at all.
Meanwhile, Terrence Crawford and fucking Errol Spence.
4 years later.
All right, talk to me, Jules.
So,
Cat, all I know is this, Cat.
Hang on, which was easier, that fight or Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano?
That you can't compare those two because the way the business of boxing is.
No, listen. No, wait a minute. Nobody talk. This is the point I'm making. Let me make this point to Drew. You actually can compare it because to the person in the street, the business, the infrastructure, the ebbs and flows of it all, none of that matters. All they know is when I want to see two girls that are good fight, they actually fight. When I want to see two guys. When I want to see two guys that are good, oh no, it's the people don't want to hear that, and that's what appeals to the common man. It's like boxing fans forgot that this is a poor man's sport, and yes, some of us understand the industry okay, and we understand this and understand that, but at its base, we just want to see people fight. Can they fight?
And it's just like they're so privileged. All these fighters are very privileged. At what point does it stop? It's a turnoff.
The ladies are the ones that are actually reminding us of that, and the men are just off doing whatever, man.
All I know is like Cat.
I think it's
This is. I'll end it with this. Cat.
Hang on, guys.
Hold on, no. Enough of you, Cat.
Yeah, you drunk.
All right, it's Drew's turn.
My bad.
Cat. Rick Ramos called Jules the best YouTube media channel. So that's that we got to. We end it right there.
That. He didn't say that. He didn't say media. That's Cat's word. He didn't say media. I'm not media, bro. So you know who's media? Spicy is media. She is me. I'm not media. All right.
He interviews fighters, Cat. He interviews fighters.
All right. Now what I'm gonna say is, look. Here's an example. Right. A great advertisement for women's boxing. Alicia Baumgardner. Did she have to go to Boxer? No. She could have stayed on her side of the street the same way Spence stayed on his side of the street. She could have did that and had alternatives to a mayor fight. But she said, fuck it, and fuck you, and we fighting. And that's how the fuck it is. And that's all the casual needs to see. That's it. We ain't got to sit and break down the purse and the shit. And no. That's it.
And Jules, on top of that, what did we get? We got a split decision fight.
Motherfucker classic.
I mean, fucking, you know what I mean? We no fuss, nothing like you like to say.
No fuss, no muss, just fights.
You know what I mean? Exactly. We don't have to fucking work hard to get the girls to get down. The girls want to get down because they want to get down, and that's all I care about. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. I just want to make sure I make my point. As a fucking old school fan of the fucking sport, all I give a fuck about, Jules, is the best.
So I will say,
I'm gonna pass it to Cat. Now let me mediate. All right. Let me mediate. Now,
Dude, damn.
Now let me mediate before I pass it to Cat. I grew up in two different eras of boxing where people behaved very differently. In this era, people rather argue than get a fight. In the era that I grew up in, all we got were fights, and we didn't argue because we knew they were going to fight. We knew there wasn't going to be. I never wondered about Roy. I never wondered about Mike. Lennox fought everyone that he could fight. The only one he didn't fight was Bo, and that was because Bo didn't want to fight. That's normal fight fan shit. And when it was like that, that's when the sport was peak, man. All right, this bullshit.
What age were Hearns and Leonard? I know you've said
26. 25, 26, around 25, 26. Now, Kat, it's your turn. Go ahead.
All right, so I agree with what you said, but it is a different time, right? And we've all discussed the Mayweather effect, how shit changed, after his whole, like the money man, and how money actually became like the primary target versus when people actually fought because it was like, yo, you're talking shit about my pride. I have to step into the ring. Now, the difference between the women and the men is that now the women are having this like light, you know what I mean? So rather than being like, oh, I'm gonna sit here and trying to get the best deal, they're like, no, fuck that. If I have to fight you, then I'm gonna fight you, because the light is here, and that's how you take advantage of that shit.
But
Versus
also,
the
Kat,
guys,
there's a difference. There's a difference between men and women that actually helps these women more than the men. Women are emotionally driven, and they will fight that way, and you will get made for TV fights every time. It's two girls. Every time, because they're gonna fight with their
I
heart.
understand what you're saying, but I disagree slightly just because y'all might not necessarily show it. Y'all hosts are emotional too.
Okay. I have a
They're more emotional than the women.
Hang on, guys.
Wait, all right. This is what I'm gonna say. It is true that men have emotions. How many emotions does Terrence Crawford exhibit in an interview?
None.
How many emotions does lukewarm Errol Spence, who has the personality of a doorknob, exhibit in an interview? The beautiful thing about the girls, when they don't like each other, you can see. When Senicia Estrada had Marlene Esparza in front of her, you can see this is not no fake shit. They do not, and they just decided, look, I'm just not gonna fucking like you, and that's just what the fuck it is. Same with Michaela and Alicia.
Hey,
Same
Jules.
shit.
Hey,
Like, look,
Jules.
we just I probably never even seen you before, but I met you today, and I don't fuck with you.
Bro,
Hey, Jules. Hey, Jules, let me say this, man. Hey, Jules. Hold up, let me say this real quick, please. Right now, the ladies are carrying the spirit of boxing more than the men.
Yes.
This is what I'm trying to say. This is what I've been trying to say. Who has more undisputed champions, Jules?
Listen, Katie Taylor and people and they'll realize it afterwards. They don't realize it now. They'll realize it afterwards when she's gone. She has an Ali resume. If you know anything about Muhammad Ali, he fought damn near everyone that he could fight. Everyone that he could fight. Ken Norton, Joe Frazier, George Foreman, Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson, Ernie Shavers, fucking Trevor Berbick, bro.
Hey,
Larry Holmes, bro.
And he fought regularly, Jules. He fought. He was on TV. He was on free TV.
Now. Here's an now. Let me close the circuit. Who fights more often than all of her contemporaries? It's an easy answer.
Oh, you
Katie
got
Taylor.
him.
Katie Taylor. She already had a super fight this year. She already had it. Amanda Serrano. She's fighting this later in a few weeks.
Hey,
She,
if you want to
wait. I'm not done.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I'm not done. For perspective, her and Clarissa debuted as professionals in the same year. Katie Taylor has 7 more fights than Clarissa. She is more active than Clarissa, and people keep wondering why I say it's not that Clarissa's not great. She's dope. Yeah, she's great. All of that. But Katie and her resumes are in 2 very different places. I'm sorry.
It doesn't hurt the fact that she's backed by Matchroom and DAZN.
Listen, all right, Matchroom and DAZN backed her. You know why? Because the fans backed her first. The same way it was for Oscar. She had legions of fans that followed her Olympic career, that followed her into the pros. That's why Matchroom backed her. And she made that happen off her own sweat in the Olympics. Look, Alexis, I had to school Alexis because the man, it's like, yo, dog, like, for you to trash talk Katie Taylor, of all people, you must not know absolutely anything about the renaissance you're seeing. She's the reason, a very big part of the reason, women got to go to the Olympics. It was because of her. You fucking moron.
And those pursuit fights. You want to talk about parallels, Jules. If you want to talk, in my opinion, those 2 pursuit fights, them are
those
are Kenny
I was
Norton,
gonna say
Muhammad
Frazier.
Ali. I was going to say Kenny Norton, Muhammad Ali. Either way.
If you know Ali. Now listen. What was the defining characteristic of Ali? He didn't care. He'll fight anyone. Katie didn't have to run it back with Delphine Pursoon. She could have look, I got my win and that's it. No, we running it back.
Right, and we all know that's a tough matchup for him stylistically, right?
All right. Now look.
And what did she do?
Hold on. Now look at the Serrano shit. I already beat you.
God damn.
I want to run it back. Let's do it again. If you look at her at the end of the fight, I love the girl. She's bleeding and shit, smiling at Amanda. Yeah, we got to do that again. I love him. That's Ali, man. Y'all don't see it.
I'm here to back you up as a person, as a child of the 70s. As I grew up, my first fucking
three times, guys.
My first serious fight. Real quick, sorry, country. My first serious fight, so everybody knows where I'm coming from. My first serious fight where I was paying attention. Muhammad Ali, Ron Lyle, free TV, ABC.
Oh yeah,
fucking Howard Cosell, fucking he just won the title off of fucking Foreman, and I was hooked ever since. All right, now I'm not going to
tell y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all.
I don't pretend.
Hold on. Now, people will try to make this a tribalism argument because of the color of Katie's skin, and they don't want to understand that has nothing to do with it. As far as fixtures in the sport of boxing and who they parallel the most, who she parallels the most is Ali. What? She's fighting everyone. Natasha Jonas, Delphine Pursoon, Amanda Serrano, fucking all these other champions that she beat. That's the other fighters that she beat. It's like, dog, it's not a lot of people left for her to fight. It's not a lot.
Yo, Joe, something that Kelvin said, and I agree with him. He said Katie was the reason Eddie Hearn entered women's boxing. I believe that.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like people try to make it seem that, oh, it's because of something Matchroom did. No, it's because Eddie knew what Katie did. Katie brought women's boxing to the Olympics.
Now, I feel compelled to point this out. This is an opinion, Jules. I do feel like it's a combination of the improvement of women's boxing and the men opening the door by being inactive.
But it's also, don't get me wrong. There are contributing factors in all shapes and sizes. But what I'm talking about is the archetype and the heart. That's what you're going to remember.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, like how I remember Ali. This is how I remember Ali. Was he the perfect boxer? Absolutely not. Was he the most fundamentally sound? Absolutely not. But what was he? A bad motherfucker.
Brave.
About shit. We fighting.
Brave.
We fighting. Period. He fought till it wasn't good for him to fight no more. That's how much he loved fighting. Katie could retire right now. I already fought Amanda Serrano.
Bro, I've been saying, Jules, and I'm not even knocking Serrano. I'm just saying, I've been saying to people in her last 2-3 fights, the legs are going. What's the old bromide? First thing to go. What's the first thing to go?
The legs.
And I'm telling you, I can see the legs. You know what I mean? I can see it. I don't care what anybody says.
Hey, Jules, read the super chat, man.
All right. And Andre Ward would sell his soul to do commentary for
the next one, man.
Hold on, let me see. De lo mío, shout out to DAZN for closing strong. Bivol versus Zerto choke. Yeah, it's a great schedule.
Uno más, man.
All right, let me go to tie-in. Whole panel is on HP Brown.
I'll take the hit.
So funny.
I will throw myself in front of the bus for the rest of you for that one.
All I'm saying is that the parallel is obvious. Now back to the conversation that we were having about the repercussions of Zerto winning that fight. It's not a situation that Canelo can get away from, and it mirrors the Golovkin situation of 2016 and 2017 exponentially, because you're talking about a Mexican national now. They got bent out of shape over a guy from Kazakhstan. How bent out of shape do you think they're going to be if it's a national?
No, Jules, this is what I'm saying. I get the impression from some people. I'm just saying that there's enough of them for me to notice, right? I get the impression from some people that even if Zerto were to beat Bivol, it would be acceptable for Canelo to fight Bivol. Do you understand me?
No, it might look, and this is why I said.
And I'm like,
listen to me. I'm not saying it's not. Oh, he can't fight Bivol. What I'm telling you is, you can't go the rest of your career and not fight Zerto. At some point, you have to fight him, because they're not gonna. They're not going to let you live it down. Remember what happened with Golovkin, right? They tried to pressure him to fight Golovkin after the Cotto fight. He ends up fighting Amir Khan. They let him get away with that. And then he goes down there, he fights Liam Smith. And they let him get away with that. So I'm not telling you that, he can't fight Bivol. You have to fight Zerto. You have to.
And then, not to mention,
Bivol. You gotta let somebody else talk, Doc. Go ahead,
but
Spicy.
so also, not to mention, Bivol is with Matchroom. So DAZN is more partners with Matchroom than with Golden Boy. So they're definitely going to want to make that Bivol over the Surdo fight.
Let me say this, Spicy. The tone from DAZN would quickly change when they realize the financial value of Zerto versus Canelo as a fight. It would be bigger. It would be bigger than any of the Golovkin fights.
I think the partnership that Matchroom has with DAZN, they would, give Bivol more.
No, they're not. They're gonna do what they're gonna do in the name of money.
They would not. They would not.
Like anyone else
partner up with Golden Boy over Matchroom. It's just not possible.
But they're already in bed with Golden Boy. You're talking as if they're not in bed with them. They're already in bed.
They're in bed with them, pero la wife is Matchroom.
Sí, pero tú sabes cómo las cosas son y alguna vez que you know how it is. Like, in other words, if Zerto were to beat Bivol, right? Bivol becomes unimportant. Like, doing that becomes unimportant. And suddenly Golden Boy has a bargaining chip that they haven't had. They're like, we have a major fight that we can give you, but you got to play ball with us now. See, Golden Boy has been a stepchild ever since Canelo left them. Everybody knows it, that the DAZN is not giving them the budget or the priority or the liberties of Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. But let them have the guy that beat Bivol. Everything changes, man. I'm telling you. Everything changes. That'll change if he beats Bivol. I'm trying to tell you.
Whereas less pressure if Bivol wins. Am I wrong?
Less pressure, yes. Because they know that Bivol's not even though they know it's a big fight, they know that Bivol doesn't move the needle. Or
we can do a rematch, Bivol versus Surdo. That would be huge.
I said that if Zerto were to win on points, if he wins on points, rematch. If he knocks him out and really beats him up real nice, real good, real special, trip to the hospital, no rematch.
Hey, Jewel, there's a good question for you. Santio Media says, what makes Canelo versus Zerto bigger than any Canelo Triple G bout?
It'll sell more pay-per-views and it'll bring in a bigger gate.
I mean, what more can you say than that?
That's what makes a big fight big. The turnout and what money it generates and what attention it generates. If you think Mexicanos for Golovkin was big, wait and see if a Mexican national beats Bivol after what just happened. It'll be huge, bro. Aliens will land.
As long as they do it in the Southwest, Jules. As long as they do it Texas or the Southwest. Sorry.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead, Kat.
So let me say this, right? So let's say that he does win, right? Convincingly. Not a knockout, but convincingly, right? So he does beat him. And, they probably rematch or whatever, and he wins. If Canelo doesn't fight him right away and there's maybe a year or two in there and he doesn't maintain that momentum of winning, nobody's going to want that fight.
It depends. Si ellos lo ponen ahí con un John Ryder, because you guys keep assuming que Canelo, like these other guys, esta otra gente no son importantes. Di que Andre y Charla y toda esta basura. None of those fucking guys matter, man. I'm trying to tell you. But so Canelo could keep busy with, say, John Ryder, in the UK, make some money. Fuck it. Why not? Fuck it. Let's do it. You know what I mean? While that's going on. And it'll be identical to what happened leading up to the Golovkin fight. Remember,
Surdo, right? If they don't keep him entertaining, nobody's gonna want that fight.
Well, you see how Zerto fights. He's not a thinker. He throws punches. He's not a thinker. He throws punches and bunches.
And I get that, right? But if he doesn't look good and you don't keep him entertaining, you don't keep people, eyes on him, no one, people forget about fighters every day, bro.
They do forget about fighters, but I'll tell you this. The image of Bivol bleeding and being hurt, I think about that image and I'm like, Canelo can't get away from that. He cannot get away from that. There's no getting around it. You've got to deal with it, all right? That is your George Foreman fight. And that is a unique opportunity that most boxers, even the really good ones, they don't get that. There's a lot of super fights in boxing. I got to turn the camera on for this. There's a lot of super fights in boxing, right? There's lots of super fights. We just seen a super fight this past weekend, but there are even fewer Ali versus Foreman situations.
Oh man, we're going there. We're going
yo,
there.
yo no le doy nada de crédito a Surdo así, eh?
I'm just
Surdo's he's an okay fighter, but I don't think he's the best.
Spicy, look, Spicy. I know that you're a big Canelo fan. So am I. I'm just telling you.
I'm a Surdo fan too. I love Surdo.
You know, you don't love Surdo like you love Canelo. Don't lie to me. I'm reading your mind. You can't lie to me, right? You can't.
Capricorn. He's a Capricorn. You can't lie.
Right now, all I'm telling
I'm a Capricorn too.
You're not. You're Aries, fam.
No, I'm a Capricorn. December 28th.
Embustera.
No.
¿Qué? Ah, pues por eso es que nos llevamos bien, entonces. Por eso es que nos llevamos bien. Eso es lo que. Esto es lo que yo estoy diciendo. There are people out there that they're not as big Canelo fans as everyone else, and they're gonna look at that. It's Foreman versus Ali. I'm trying to tell you the specter of it. That Zerto actually is a lot bigger than Canelo, but he's not as accomplished. He's not as good a boxer. Everything about Canelo's ability would be tested in that fight. That I am a better boxer than him. I'm just not as big as he is. Can I beat him? And I'm telling y'all, if Canelo were to beat him, he surpasses Chavez. It's not even
Jules, what age is Zerto?
Chavez, listen, for those that grew up in the Chavez era, Chavez can't have a Foreman because he is the Foreman. He's the bruiser. He's the brawler. He's the mauler. He's the power guy. He could never have a Foreman in his career. He could never have that. He was that. He's the guy that's going to beat you in the stomach until you piss blood. It could never happen for him. Canelo in this situation, of course he's not the Foreman. Canelo is the boxer. Zerto is the puncher. The big puncher who's about 6'4" and rehydrates to 200 pounds the night of the fight.
It's gonna be here.
It's a goddamn cruiserweight.
And how old is he? How old is he, Jules?
Zerto's young, bro. He's like.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm going off the top of my head here, guys, so forgive me if I'm a little off. But if memory serves, when Ali was 32.
Ali was
Foreman, and Foreman's about 26. I'm going to say about 6 years.
Do you see it, Doc? I see
I'm a Libra. I take my time and,
All right. I'm telling you that Ali, upon Ali's return, he was already established. Everyone knew him as, look, he's the real champion. And then Joe beat him. And then people looked up. Let me tell the story. Let me tell the story. When Joe beat him, people thought, oh, it's over for Ali. He's not the same. That's what they were saying when Canelo lost to Bivol. That's what they're saying now. Has he lost a step? Is he going to start declining now? Is he beginning to decline? Is this what we're seeing from Canelo? That's what they were saying after Ali lost to Joe. And when Ali started suggesting to the media, I can beat him, I can stick him, I can box him, and then take him out. People thought he was crazy. Like, bro, you can't beat this dude, bro. Look at what he did to the guy that took you to school. Look at what you can't beat this dude.
Hang on. He wiped out the guy that broke your jaw. He wiped out the guy that broke your jaw.
You went 15 rounds with Joe. George took care of him in 2, 6 knockdowns.
Yeah. Same with Kenny Norton.
All right. People saw that. They're like, Ali, you're they didn't know it then that triangle theories don't work. That because he did that to Joe, that doesn't mean he can do that to Ali. Why? Joe is good.
There was a famous journalist. Forgive me, Jules. I swear to you, this happened. I can't remember his name, but a famous journalist. He thought it was such a foregone conclusion. He passed out in the goddamn pool at the hotel rather than actually go to the fight, because that's how you get what I'm trying to say. That's how
you're talking about. Listen, for perspective, this is. You rarely see true blue David and Goliath situations in boxing. But when you do, there's something different that happens than in your average super fight. This is a true blue David and Goliath situation. Canelo is only 5'8". He used to campaign as a welterweight, okay? He is not a big man at all. Zerto is massive. He's big enough that he actually has fought as a cruiserweight during the pandemic in the Battle of Rio Grande. He has fought as a cruiserweight. And I'm telling you, the visuals in association with that fight, people will die. It's not a game out
here,
here,
if Canoli starts lighting him up with counter punches, Jules.
And when he does, the crowd will roar. It'll be like thunder. It'll be like fucking thunder. And I'm going to tell y'all the next part. Y'all not going to like this. Canelo can win.
He's the better boxer, Jules. He's the better boxer. I will win. I'm not a fan. Jules, you know I'm not a fan.
All right? If he were to win that fight, he could that's it, bro. You don't need to do no more. That's it. You did everything there is to do.
I just want to see that the night of that fight. I just want to see all the jealous and envy on David Benavidez' face.
Oh, that would be great.
Listen. That kid's Ecuadorian anyway, bro.
That's what I be saying. That's what I said.
What the fucking crap?
And I'm like this. Sorry, Spicy. I don't know if Spicy has her paper, but ever since I got my papers, like, if you ain't got your papers, you ain't Mexican. I said.
Right? I'm more fucking Mexican than fucking David Benavidez. Ese tipo un ecuatoriano.
Yo tengo mis papeles mexicanos, Yo soy mexicana.
Me too. Like that scene in American Me where he's like, he ain't Mexican.
No comprende.
Right?
Yeah, if a war breaks out here in America, my ass is going to Mexico.
Spicy, you were at the fight. Did you see how all the Mexicans were telling David, like, David, you're not being ducked, bro.
Nobody cares about David.
Exactly.
And I don't know how many times Mexicans need to say that shit. Nobody even knows David.
You know who cares about David?
You know
who cares about David? The people on Twitter.
No, you know who cares about David? And I'm going to say this, and David's team pays people very well to mention him.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Very well.
I have the files. I know who those people are.
You were approached.
I was approached, but I rejected it because of my principles.
He's Jules Coselli.
You can't buy me.
You know why?
I was very uncomfortable because I was thrown at the dad, and I was supposed to interview him, and I just I don't like. It just felt very uncomfortable because I'm not really for Benavidez at all.
Look, this is what's going on. They're using what are, I would say, boxing social media influencers. Anybody who has anything semblant of a following.
It's bigger than that. They use a lot of, even.
Yeah, I know. I have the files. I know. They pay those people to do that.
I just got to say, Lady Chan just said Dan Raphael needs to worry about his cholesterol, not pay-per-view numbers. God damn her.
Listen, she not wrong. Those are the numbers he need to worry about.
Hey, Jules, Kat says you were approached because you are media.
Kat, you better cut that shit out. Not fucking media. I am just
how much bigger is Canelo Zerto compared to Chavez De La Hoya?
I'm trying to tell you, it's huge, bro.
No, he's lying. There's, Mexicans. Hey, my mom is right here. She's Mexican. Ma, ¿sabes quién es el zurdo? ¿Qué es zurdo?
Listen. We already knew. Listen, no. You can't compare. We knew.
No sé quién será.
More people in the chat are calling you media, man. Now they're saying Ring IQ Media.
Hang on. No. Just to be clear, Jules. Come on, man. We do not have at this time. Say what you want. Now, don't get it twisted. In the Western Hemisphere, there's no debating the guy that carries the torch for boxing. It's my man Canoli. As much as I hate him, all right.
It's spicy. Wait. One at a time. Spicy. This is the thing. All right. Hold on. One at a time. This is the thing. Has Zerto beat Bivol yet?
No.
Don't know who he is when he does. If he does, don't know who he is. Everyone will know.
Pero ni saben quién es el Bivol.
They don't know.
Everybody that
so then you telling me they don't know? Hold on. So you saying that they don't know who beat Canelo?
At this point now they do because he beat Canelo. But when everybody, people, and as this was me at one point too, I would buy tickets to a Canelo fight, not to a Canelo Bivol fight. I didn't know I didn't know who Saunders was.
I'm just
listen, right? So I'm gonna defend IQ today just a little bit, right? But he is right because by beating Canelo, regardless of nobody knew who he was before, Mama, Even if they only know he beat Canelo, that is enough. That's all he needs.
That's
so
all it
whoever
takes.
beats him, automatically they're going to associate that shit with Canelo, saying, "Oh, you know, he beat Canelo, but X, Y, and Z beat him." You know what I mean? So there is that connection. There is that distinction.
So I do agree with both of you guys, right? To a certain point, because there's a lot of Mexicans that are not going to just buy the fight because Surdo or Bivol are fighting.
Es que tú no ves la novela que esto es. If Bivol were to lose to Zerto, right? You know that Oscar's going to shout that from the rooftops, right?
He is.
You know that he's going to get
exactly.
You know that he's gonna go everywhere and tell everyone that Canelo is avoiding Zerto, and
he's going to be like David Benavidez' dad.
But
he's going to show up everywhere.
Nobody talk except David Benavidez' dad is not Oscar De La Hoya.
Right.
Oscar's going to dump Ryan Garcia, and Zerto's going to be his girlfriend now.
I'm trying to tell you, it will be different. See, Oscar, and he takes it to the street because that's what he's going to do. He's going to take it to the streets. And he's gonna, and that'll be how he pulls himself out of the bind that he's in, and that will be his anchor. If you think that he was resentful of Floyd Mayweather, he's more resentful of Canelo because he built him or he helped to build him.
Yes, and you know what? I agree with that. And you know what? I will agree with this also. Oscar has the love of the Mexican people like no other. Mexican people love Oscar more than Canelo, 100%.
They built him a statue, and I'm telling you, if Oscar gets into shit and he starts with his shit, there's no getting away from this. There's no getting around it.
We want coked out Oscar calling out Canelo. We do.
You think he's not going to be coked out? He's coked out right now.
USS Cunningham, remember?
Yeah, he was coked out when he was winning titles, Jules.
USS Cunningham.
Trying to tell, I'm just telling y'all that it's not a guarantee that Zerto beats him. I'm just telling y'all that if he does, if it happens, you got a whale of a fucking fight. It's a whale. It's bigger than everything. It's bigger than all this bullshit. It's way bigger than Crawford.
It's not bigger than Caleb Plant getting his rematch with Breadman in his corner.
Word.
And how tough of a position does this person have to win?
He's going to be throwing hooks now.
Because Jules, how tough of a position does it put Canelo in? He's what, 5-6 years older, right?
War torn, bad knee, broke his wrist in his last fight.
Recovering from a wrist injury.
And if he fights,
doesn't he remind you a lot of Ali that lost his legs after the exile?
I just want if he fights Zerto, I just want no.
He's got a blown knee. He has tape on. I'm sorry, but he's got tape on his knee. There's no doubt about that one. At least one leg is gone, Jules.
No. We're gonna have Clenbuterol Alvarez come back for that.
No, all I'm telling y'all is I love the layout of how this breaks down because I firmly believe he can beat Zerto. He can beat him. Zerto's not that good. He's just big. Not that good. He's just big. That's all.
He doesn't have those Bivol jabs. That's for sure.
He won't box Canelo. He will do all the things that the problem for Canelo, and this is the problem, you've become too comfortable overpowering people with a single punch at a time. That's how you've been boxing. You have to go back to how you fought Danny Jacobs. That's the only way you beat. That's the only way you beat this guy. That's it.
This, Jules, is Zerto even as? Are we sure? I'm not saying he is or isn't, but do we have any evidence that definitively tells us that Zerto's at all better or worse than Danny Jacobs? I feel
Let me tell you this. I was sent images of the spar. I was sent an image, a post sparring session image of Zerto and Bivol because they sparred in San Diego. He gave Bivol a cookie in his eye. What I was told is he was banging him out in there. That's what I was told, and they had to end the sparring session early. That's what I was told.
Let me go another direction. If Bivol wins, is Joel Diaz trainer of the year?
Well, Joel Diaz doesn't train Zerto. It's that Asian kid, isn't it?
Well, I think it's Joel Diaz.
Isn't it the young Asian kid?
I thought Joel Diaz was the head guy.
No, I don't know if it's Joel.
Are you talking about Samoto?
It's this young Asian guy. He just popped on the scene, but he's very young for a trainer, and that's who I see Zerto with. He was at the press conference.
You mean that's who Bivol's with?
Not Bivol. Zerto is with this guy, man.
No, I mean if Bivol wins, Joel Diaz is trainer of the year, right?
I don't know if Joel Diaz is his trainer. Is what I'm saying.
Let me check.
I don't think it's I don't think Joel Diaz is his trainer. I think it's that young Asian guy. He's a young guy.
It is.
It's the young Asian guy.
Are you talking about Marvin Samodio, Jules?
I don't know the guy's name. I just keep seeing him with fighters, and he's like a very young guy for a trainer.
Well, he's from the Freddie Roach tree, Marvin Samodio. He's a young Asian trainer.
He's a very young guy for a trainer. That's how I remember him. That this guy's very young to be such a good trainer. He's very young, and that's Zerto's trainer, and he does look different.
David Chua.
Yeah.
I'm saying Bivol's trainer because Bivol beat Canelo. If he beats Bivol, his trainer is getting trainer of the year, right?
Oh, you saying Bivol's trainer?
Yeah, Joel Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to give it to him. What's bigger than beating those guys? You beat the pound for pound #1 at the time, and Zerto, who's bigger than you. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to give it to him, but they're not. Like Joey Gamache should have got trainer of the year for the beating that Otto Valine put on Tyson Fury, for Teofimo Lopez beating Vasyl Lomachenko. He should have got trainer of the year, you know? Ismail Salas should have got trainer of the year for Joe Joyce beating Daniel Dubois, for Kazuto Ioka beating Kosei Tanaka, who the bookies favored to beat him, but he didn't get it. You know how the Americans are, Drew. You know how they are. Like,
comeback fighter. Who's your comeback fighter of the year so far?
Say it again.
Who's your comeback fighter of the year?
Comeback fighter of the year. Let me think. Who made an extraordinary comeback that was like amazing this year? I didn't really see a comeback of the year this year, to be honest. I haven't yet. I haven't.
So that means they're going to give it to Wilder.
Probably. For Helenius.
For 2 minutes of work.
It might be by default. I mean, that sounds horrible, but it might be by default, huh, Jules?
Who else made a big comeback?
I mean, dude, Helenius is not nothing. I'm not trying to big up, you know what I mean? What, like, say Helenius is, you know what I mean, all-time special. But he's not. Hang on, but he's not. He's not nothing.
I mean, he's not. But who else made a comeback this year?
That's
Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant.
Okay, so there we go. Okay.
I'd rather give it to Plant than Wilder.
That's what I'm saying.
Better opponent. Okay, better opponent. You think?
Better than Helenius?
Yeah, really? I mean, I always thought.
Was Helenius ever a champion?
No, you're right.
Was Anthony Durrell ever a champion?
Right.
He was WBC super middleweight champion.
He lost it to Badu
5 seconds, but
No.
5 seconds.
He had to fight. I know what you're talking about. He had to fight. What's my man's name?
Yildirim.
No.
Who he fought? He fought Kyrteky. No, he didn't fight Kyrteky too. Look, he fucking fought somebody for something. All right, now let me read the super chat. Zerto is just now getting mentioned by the casuals and lots of Mexican boxing fans. I'm trying to tell you, Cervecero, it's happening. Fun fact, Ali dodged 22 punches in 11 seconds at 35. Ow. That's why he's the GOAT. He's the motherfucking GOAT. Now, on that note, I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep.
Hey, and on another note, Jules is definitely media.
I'm not fucking media.
He's media.
Reporting. I'm not reporting. I am just a boxing fan. I will see y'all on the next one.
Have a good night, Jules.
Bye, guys.
Have a good night, everyone.